That's number one. Secondly, if there are any trades available, we're going to show you the signals where we would be taking those or where we are actually having the trades. So that's going to be interesting. We've done one of those sessions like around a month ago, and that was very popular. William, so why don't we start with our pre-market analysis, and why don't you lead the way? And we're going to look predominantly at two contracts today, S&P and crude oil. And I put here, lastly, Bitcoin, just because I know you guys have a lot of questions about this. So when we have a pause between, the analysis of the trades, we'll talk about this. So
I'm going to interject very quickly here, Roman. From a tape reading perspective, look at crude oil on the 3-minute. Look at the way we've come down to this bar, shortened of the thrust, better buying more buying in this bar.
Yes.
Compared to this buying coming up here. There's an attempt to hold here. It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, look at the volume coming in down here as well. We might have some form of bottoming process unfolding here. That'll be nothing to do here as of yet, but it's definitely, we can see that some things.
I wonder, William, if oil is showing some buying, if S&P also could, have some buying here, at least an attempt. But, this is very weak on the hourly, and on the 3, even on the 3, it looks weak to me, at least for now.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, going to crude on the daily, look, I think we've had a big move now. We've broken down this area of structure. I mean, look at the hourly. Come here, rally, come here, weaker rally, boom, we're coming down. So only on this time frame where we're seeing something different, as opposed to this. Nothing to do as yet. I'd still be looking for some kind of change of behavior or a break above here, but something certainly is occurring down here. I'll keep my eyes on that. But to the S&Ps, there we go, Roman. Should we zooming this, or we'll have a look at our pre-market analysis? Coming in here, Roman, compare this bar to this bar. We see selling on yesterday's bar, or Friday's bar, should I say. We can see that from the close, the volume. There's some selling there. Does that make sense? Well, yes. We kind of have this level here. We have direct supply to the left, here, here, here. All the usual components here, Roman. So we do see some selling on that bar in an area where we would expect to see selling, in an area of supply. And what are your thoughts, though, initially, if we compare this as our analog to this? We could use this as certainly as analog.
Well, I mean, I could probably build both scenarios here. The bullish scenario would be that, we now have the capacity to come to this, short-term resistance. And not only that, have multiple closes around this. I would probably be thinking of comparing these two places here. Why? Because, again, closes. So I wonder, William, if we, in all of these cases, in all of the previous two cases, when we came to this resistance, there are two things that I could notice that has happened before. First of all, we are trying to react. So it's not surprising that we are trying to react right here. Now, the question is going to be, what is the strength of this reaction? And we could obviously judge the strength, potential strength of this reaction, also how the price approaches this. So, for instance, on the daily, we're seeing a lot of supply coming in into that structure. We're seeing on the upthrust as well, there is a lot of supply that we're seeing here. I don't see a lot of supply on the approach here. This is the lowest supply volume spike relative to the previous instances, which is significant. So I'd say it's definitely more bullish, but I mean the
in the immediate, we'd still expect
in the short term, we still need to produce this type of action to see if we could react, and we could react differently in a more bullish way. So I'd say probably this channel right here still has some kind of short-term meaning.
Okay, so in essence, then, cleanly, succinctly, what we're saying is, on this bar, we see a little bit of supply emerge where we should. Yet at this time, it does have lower volume. So it is definitely more of a bullish, if we could use that word, kind of not as negative in this area as we previously seen, which we clearly eyeballing this, we understand that, but we'd still expect some kind of continuation from here. That's what these 3 bars represent. Well, these 2 bars represent here.
And another thing that I'm seeing here, William, is that there is some kind of squeeze of supply and demand at the same time. I mean, like, look at this bar right here. What did we do there? We had some demand coming in, and the price went up. It pulled in the close to the higher level.
Yep.
So demand is definitely pushing the price from the bottom. At the same time, we're seeing supply here when we're seeing supply here. So this is where supply is increasing. So it's almost like between 2 forces.
Yep.
And that's why it's coiling a little bit here. And that's why the spread is diminishing here. So perfect day that we've chosen. Why not, this one, as you said before, why not make it easy on us? But yeah, let's just like do the hard stuff. Okay.
Okay, so
so this is the level of demand. I just wanted to say, like, this is this bar and this bar right here. So this level, I think, is very important right here.
I think so. I'm with you. And we'll see that down on the lower time frame. But from the daily here, I'd expect some downside continuation. Now again, and where will we find buying though? Because as we've stated there, Roman, this isn't the most supply we've seen in this area. And don't forget, look where we are. We have, we've broken through the stride of this channel now, haven't we? This is, we're in this kind of a change of behavior where we're breaking through structure. Granted, we still have these kind of local areas, but from the macro perspective of the channel, we are going into kind of new ground, as it were, and we're not seeing a great deal of supply. But still, from the daily perspective, I'd expect some downside continuation. So if we can go down to the 60-minute time frame, please. Let's see if we can get any insights here.
And see how the oil firmed here, and the assumption was, well, what could S&P do the same to firm at the same kind of like structure?
I'm glad we recognize it, because I could see there's some kind of market turn unforming there.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Yeah. The 60 minutes quite interesting here, Roman. This is interesting, this area. This is structural integrity. We draw resistance across over here. And my first question would be, why aren't we testing up here? Why are we holding this level over here? And then we'll analyze that selling. That selling is, it's pretty good off that level. It's quite a great, granted, it's not like kind of this selling, but still.
Or not something like this.
Or something like this.
Or this.
Yep. This is.
Or even this.
Yeah. This has reacted from this area. And we're now coming slap bang into this support area. I guess this is that area is that on the daily? Is it around here? Anyhow. So now we've seen supply react off here. It's not as aggressive as it once as 1, over here, 2 or 3. And now we're over here at 4. And we're coming to support. And now we would expect to see some buying. So from a perspective here, I think we have a line in the sand here, Roman. If we break under these lows, I think we're going to go a little lower.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what, Eric, can we zoom in? Can we just see what kind of price structure that will be? I mean, it's quite close to that axis line. I mean, that this is quite a good level over here, but still under, what would that be? 40. Let's have a look. We come down, we find some buying. We've got to be mindful of the open as well, Roman. I would probably be looking at this level now then. This is too close to here. I want to see how price interacts with this level. Then how much distance is there? Because then we've got a confluence over here. We've got the demand line, and we've got this
30 points.
How many, sorry?
30 points here.
Okay, so there's enough wiggle room if we see any weakness going down. But as it stands here, Roman, we're holding. Here, look. We are holding
Yeah,
this
I would
level, I
say
think.
that this is probably an attempt to hold. I mean, like
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised to even see even in kind of like a short-term bearish scenario right here,
Mhm.
an attempt to rally, maybe into the break right here
Yep.
somewhere, and then just to form some kind of maybe even structure here before deciding what to do. Um, well, let's see. I mean, again, it's not like this is an extremely aggressive
No,
like this. I mean, like
it's
look at
not.
this, guys. Like there is a big difference here, but we still could, go down. And what I'm noticing, William, is just that where do we have a really good rally, right? Off the bottom.
Yep, off the supports.
So yeah,
The
or
support
after
demand
flat
line.
testing here,
Yeah.
right here. So should we expect, a really good rally from here? Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we've
Uh,
got this area of supply on this bar. We've got this little congestion area, which, so around here, give or take.
mhm.
The market might be a bit flat. What is coming this? We got NFP this week, haven't we? I'm just trying to
Yep.
see what data we got. Anyway, so yeah, that's where we are on the. So, what are your feelings? What are your thoughts here from a 60-minute perspective? 60
Yeah,
minute.
well, yeah, I don't think I could add a lot more here. It's just that it's a little bit unfortunate that we are like in the middle of the channel here.
Yeah.
So we have to kind of have this mentality today of like, okay, this could happen. So if the price stays up like this, right, has some local change of behavior, some kind of backing up action, yeah, there might be some kind of continuation to the upside. Again, close to the support. This is more of a touch and the recovery. So I'm looking for either this type of place.
Hmm.
Um, Not sure about this one. This needs to have a little bit of a short-term oversold condition. But here is this line, so we'll have to see.
Well, the good news is though, we are around structure,
Hmm.
so the market will provide. I don't think the game plan is particularly clean here because we could hold and we could break through. Pretty obvious, but this selling isn't aggressive as it once was. But the only thing that in my analysis side is like, why here? Why here?
Hmm. Hmm.
Why this level? Why can't we test up here? That shows a little bit of additional weakness because this is the first level of resistance. That arguably, we kind of flirted and traded back through this, but now it's holding
Hmm.
again. Why?
Yeah, my
That's
preference would be just slightly overcoming. That usually shows some kind of strength. I mean, like
yeah.
we're not necessarily touching this line right here, so that shows some weakness.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then shortening of the thrust itself. I mean, like these are meaningful reactions. So you kind of like showing the thrust, and the thrust is, somewhat diminishing after, let's say, like this. Okay, let's go to the 3, and then we'll probably have a better.
See where we are on the 3 minute.
Yeah. Okay.
That bar screams to mind. Holding this bar, no continuation. Trying to trade above it with this volume as well. Weird little volume aberrations here. Have you noticed that every time the volume's coming out, so it's some kind of stopping action and we rally?
Mm-hmm.
It's not continuing in the direction of that supposed supply here. That's interesting. In fact, it's reversing pretty quick here. Then we get to this level. Where's the supply? Now we're absorbing our way through. Okay. Well, look, here's our structure. We have a trading range here, Roman. We've got the US Open shortly. Break, come back, test, buy. Break, come back, test, sell. But what are your
Mm-hmm.
thoughts here from the macro perspective, apart from the obvious?
Yeah, well, I think that, we're trying to get to the resistance, at least at this point. So yeah, this is a really good zone for us to observe for any type of up thrust actions, just to see if that might happen. I mean, We could. That's probably going to be the first area of interaction that is going to be of interest. I
Sure.
wonder if, like you were saying, all of the stopping actions, right? So
Yeah.
really liking this one.
Yeah.
So could we maybe like also in a bullish scenario, like try to attempt, to go to the same level and then just, start moving up from here. So, but could develop in so many different ways.
Yeah, there's nothing. I don't think there's anything particularly crystal clear right here as of now, Roman. We are range bound here on the 3 minute.
Uh-huh.
Can we?
Yeah, we should have done this session a week ago for sure.
Can you compress, please? Can you compress the data? I
Yes.
just want to see where we come from up here. Just have a look at the. Okay, so we do break down aggressively here, sideways. Okay, we are trending. Beautiful down here. Okay. Okay. So during the Asian and European session, we're coming off as well. Now we're kind of range bound, just coming into the US Open. So we are building some causality here of sorts, Raymond.
Mm-hmm.
Question is, will we remain range bound? What's the
Yeah, and look how we are actually under Friday's sessions lows, right? So here is this line right here, which basically is this dotted line.
Yep.
And then I would probably also have.
Sorry, Raymond.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you could is this the yesterday's low or Friday's low?
One of the important lows from
Yeah.
yesterday. So I'm just gonna put this also as a dotted line right here, just for us to remember that this is from yesterday. Because yeah, we could easily up thrust here and then still go retest the low. I don't see a lot of strength right here in the structure. Yes, there is some demand that is coming in. By the way, I've noticed, forgot to mention this, that the volume during the London session is actually slightly higher than other previous London sessions. Look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. Like definitely more volume here.
There's activity.
So, yeah, so that usually tells us that, yeah, there is some kind of activity, but we still yet to understand like what this is.
I mean, I'm looking at this unfolding here. Sellers are in control for this time frame, for sure. And it's the buyers that need to prove themselves. And I don't see great buying. I mean, look at this rally.
Okay.
Yes, it's the longest in duration, but it doesn't, they're still selling. It's still riddled with selling here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's this area right here that is not that desirable. Like all of those reactions, they actually increasing within the context of the uptrend, a local uptrend. So
exactly.
Yeah, I think that the initial push is still into this area right here. Like it wants to go there. So what do you think about? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. So I think from the US Open, the first couple of hours, first couple of minutes, we're going to slap bang in there into that area.
It's almost like for the bullish scenario, I would prefer to go down first, just to do this again. Like, can you stop again? Yeah, can you stop again, and then start kind of like showing change of behavior? So that would be kind of like more bullish to me.
I'm with you because then we get the confirmation of that again. Flushed out. It's kind of in character of what's occurring before.
If effort versus result comes in, volume expands, then demand is present there. So we could catch some kind of, local reversal, local change of behavior, local test, local confirmation. I mean, like this would be a really good point of entry. But if it's gonna break pretty significantly, let's say like it goes to the support, aggressively undercuts the previous attempt to stop here, then I'll be thinking like we did not do anything about this break, and we're still creating lower highs, and this is weakness as well. So like I don't know, we'll have to wait for that first initial move to show its hand. But at the same time, I mean, like one of the strategies, guys, that we could consider here is just some scalping at the beginning of the session. You could definitely do this. I would definitely do this with one unit rather than three. That would be my preference. And
Yeah,
then,
I would say I'm with you. We don't really have kind of multiple time frame alignment here, do we? It's nothing particularly clean cut.
okay.
Let's have a look here. Yeah. How long to the opener? 7 minutes. Okay.
Okay, so let's go to
So we did.
oil.
Yeah, we did hold here. We could
Oh,
see that
I'm sorry.
unfolding.
Do you want to look at this on the hourly, just for us
Okay.
to
Yeah.
see like, the
Yep.
structure?
Let's see where we are on the hourly. We're kind of just trying to. Oh no, we break through there. Why here? This.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll just wait for you to draw there. Can you draw a level perhaps from here? This is all resistance. That's a valid break. We coming into that area. Not as yet. Okay. Well, we still see some supply. An attempt to hold here. I mean, we could still be in free fall here, Roman. But on the lower time frame, we could definitely see something unfolding. But let's have a look.
Yeah, there's just too much aggression.
Supply,
yeah.
Weak rally, knife on through. I mean, yeah. I mean, look at the lack of demand. Look at the lack of demand as we're going up. Look how poor the buying. It really is weak up here. Very weak as we get into the highs over here. Then we see the supply come out. Okay.
Well, I mean, we could be somewhat even done for the session here with this move.
Yeah, we could.
To the support. Yeah, and then just to kind of consolidate here before we continue to the downside. So, yeah, okay. Well, I mean, guys, we have to trade what is given to us. I mean, this is the day that is given to us for this particular session. So, we'll try to do our best. Okay, so 625. Let's quickly look at the 3 on oil. If there is anything here, William. Again, I mean, like the most obvious things is just the weakness.
Yeah.
We're still extending. Yeah.
This rally couldn't get to resistance over here.
Yeah, I really like this 5 to 6, 6:30 time for oil because this is when, a lot of the, moves happen before the U.S. Session opens. Yeah.
Which we go down to your 1 minute time frame on the ES, or your preferred time frame of choice. Your intraday time frame of choice.
I'm just afraid that there's going to be some questions of like, do you trade on 1 minute? No, I do not trade on 1 minute. I trade the structure and I look at 1 minute just to see that structure, to see the details of the structure. But no, not necessarily. I do trade on 1 minute, so please don't, interpret it like this. No, again, some choppiness, right?
Yeah.
That we're seeing in the uptrend. So, and we come into the upthrust decision here, I would probably view this on the 3 a little bit better.
I like the way this held though. We couldn't, this all these stopping action high volume bars are holding. The testing's holding. That's interesting. But we haven't managed to actually do anything structurally though, Roman. This is our kind of our supply zone for this time frame here. Can we break through here? Will we get an upthrust?
It's interesting how from Friday's low, we come in right into the breakdown bar. So this is the most important bar in this smaller structure. So yeah, this whole cluster is going to be interesting, and this is, I think, where we are, bouncing to, like trying to see if there's going to be some kind of supply. Last time we did that, okay, supply is coming in, supply is increasing, so let's just see what's going to happen here.
I'm interested because for those who are familiar with my trading in the room here, I don't trade the first 20 to 30 minutes of the open. I let the market digest, especially, being the weekend, being the Monday. I like to let the market digest.
Yeah, there is a lot of discounting on
Yeah.
Monday, so you usually want to wait a little bit. Yeah, unless you're scalping again, with
I'm
scalps, I
so
think.
boring though, Roman. I just let the market just tell me, just.
Well, that's why you have me. Yeah,
Let's
I'm
just
like
break here
swinging
or break
left and
down
right.
here.
Yeah.
Let it prove itself. We don't have to analyze. Like, we can sit here, let the market break, study the break. Is it good? Is it poor? And then the reaction, or the preceding reaction or rally. But simplicity has its role. I like it that this is a little challenging, actually, Roman. But we are range bound. So, and what is the extent of this trading range? 58 to 40, 18 points. No, 18 points in today's average true range. We are going to break this, so we should have a move, Roman.
Okay. Yep. Well, let's see the open. 629. Okay, so volume is coming in.
So scenario one, get this high volume kind of move like this, that kind of halts effort versus result. Then we continue. That'd be good. Or we just continue when we break on through. I mean, this isn't. What do you think of these rallies?
I'm not that impressed by this.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels either weak or supply infested. So let's see. Okay, so yeah, so our first initial assumption that we're going to go into the upthrust into the cluster. So here it is. Again, could you do something here? Yes, you can. Like if you guys are like on the lower time frame, you can definitely scalp this. The first initial move. It's not that difficult. You have directionality of the pre-market session on the last rally. So you're basically bullish, very, very short term on a very, very low time frame. But you know that here you could have an upthrust. So quick move here, and you just like on the 1 minute chart, or even on the tick if you are that low on the time frame. This could be like a quick 5-point trade. Usually you have a couple of those opportunities for scalp. Okay.
I've never played the orbs, the opening range breakouts, or those kind of strategies. It's never been in my repertoire.
Well, look at how oil is actually showing less selling here on the two. Yeah, I think oil was kind of leading the way, kind of showing that this demand has come in. So
100%. When we read that before this occurred, nothing to do here though. There was no real. I mean, maybe here, look, effort versus result on top of this support. Basically, we got no supply. Kind of change of behavior here.
Okay.
But we weren't watching that, were we?
Okay, some supplies coming in, definitely. We're seeing on the one that supply is there. What does it produce? Well, so far, not that much, right? So we will be comparing the next bar to the first bar, how strong we are there. And then, I mean, like the short setup is probably, would be the first one. I mean, this is the line in the sand right now, the low of this initial opening bar. If the price that's going below it, then most definitely we're going to start thinking about retesting the support cluster right here. Should I state the most obvious thing about trading?
Go on then.
That it is so boring. Hmm. Yeah, it's
Well,
only if you do this in the company, that's great.
mm. So if this is your line in the sand here, Roman.
Well, I mean, we could go even to one and just to find it. Like, if we're thinking like, okay, this is
Potential 8
our
points there to the support. I mean, that's not my style of trading, as you know, but
yeah. If you're thinking this is an upthrust, like a break of the upthrust down, that and that, yeah, a possibility. What do you think about the takeoff on the hourly?
Yeah.
Looks okay, but I mean, like, this is the line in the sand right
Yeah,
now.
we said we got this kind of supply and this congestion area over here, so we're right there. Can we get through that?
Yeah.
But it's interesting because we are in an uptrend. We get this level, okay, on the hourly. Okay, that's fine.
Oh, did you want to go on the hourly?
It's fine. I'll go. I said, yeah, we're in an uptrend. We come to this level where supply comes in earlier than expected, yet still technically a level. And then we come to our first support level, meaningful support, and we do find buy-in. So now it's a story of resistance and support. But we're in an uptrend, and we've already noted that this reaction isn't as strong as the previous reaction.
Okay, let's go to the lower time frame really quick. Things are happening here. Okay, so here it is. I mean, like, is there some kind of continuation? So we're waiting for this upthrust again. A very quick scalp right here. It could be like your initial opening play. I'd say again, like when short-term support starts to form, these are the levels for me, William, to look at as the failure levels. If it's going to do something like this, I probably would not shy away at -1 here, -2. Okay. If this level is broken, I mean, like, this is definitely going to show.
Here's a question for you, Roman.
Yeah.
Many students, they say, would you say that is overbought, or would you take into consideration that this is the open?
This is an overbought condition relative to the structure, relative to the overall trading range. This is an overbought relative to this, and this is also overbought relative to this rising channel.
Good. That's exactly my answer, which is it's overbought, regardless whether it's the open or the close. Structure is structure.
Yeah.
Good.
Would you be thinking tactically here? Any shorts?
I would rather see the break of this than this. Because we could dip down, we could spring. Ooh,
yeah.
But here it's unlikely with spring. But obviously it's possible.
Yeah, I'm just thinking if we're gonna go lower here, right, and we, let's say, like, slightly break this, then I don't want to enter here. This is just too much away from the high. I would want to wait for some kind of rally, maybe into this area.
No demand or hidden upthrust or something here.
Yeah.
I think the line in the sand play here, because of where we are tactically, is not very efficient.
Okay, let's talk about bullish scenario. I mean, like, how would you see the bullish scenario here to materialize? Like, how should we prepare mentally for that?
Well, prepare mentally. Well, I just want to see a break of some structure here.
So you still want to see the break first, and then?
Yeah, we need to disconfirm supply because we need to break some kind of structure to gauge a picture of strength, and we're trying to do that now. So if we come up here, that's part one, because we were in a downtrend. I don't see anything. I don't see any real good bouts of accumulation down here. So I'd want to see the market part one show me strength with buying, and then disconfirm the supply. You don't need to do that if we're in a downtrend. I could just take bearish signals, but I need two parts of the confirmation here because we were in a downtrend. I can't aggressively buy unless we do start breaking structural areas. I mean, technically, we still haven't broken here yet, have we? We haven't managed to surpass it yet. Yet. Look at this volume here. It's quite low for the second bar, as opposed to the open. Although
Yeah, there is some kind of, especially on the 1 minute, you see that better, where supply is definitely
it's definitely low.
diminishing.
Yeah.
So this is a good sign. And then from here, yeah, that's why we're producing this move. Okay, well, let's see if we could do some damage here in the upper part. Okay. Yeah. So again, just reminding everybody what this is. This is the one of the lows from Friday, which was important. Also, this breakdown bar is important. And yeah, this is a really good, at least an attempt to start to break. So let's. How would you be expecting the testing here to be like?
Well, I mean, I like this bar because of volume. This is suggestive of ease of movement here to the upside. You get the firmest close off a bar, wider spread than the previous bar, closing firm. We don't break through this area of structure, mind you, but still, it's kind of the best buying bar we've had thus far. Sorry, what's your initial question here, Roman?
The test. How would you want to see the test?
I would like to see supply flatten out. Or the character, though, we have to bear in mind the personality of what's occurring down here. The way that this turns and halts isn't with the lack of supply. It halts with the spikes. So perhaps we might just get a sudden shock down, then reverse, rather than the flattening out.
But if we have some kind of sharp move down, and you want to see that effort versus result.
I want to see it versus result and then close above it quickly.
Yeah.
Maybe play the break.
Yeah. But I think the key, again, like if we're talking about structural testing, then we want to test the previous resistance area where we've encountered some kind of, emergence of the supply, and demand went through this area. And then if it comes back, then there is some demand that, holds again. Well.
Yeah, here we go. Will we react down here? Are we going to get some whipsawing? How long are we into this? Time goes even slower, Roman, when we're doing this live. Watching the bars unfold. Can we let this unfold? Let's have a quick look on crude.
Let's talk about the tape reading lab while we're waiting here, and then at any point, let's just jump in. So what do we usually do? We go through the analysis of all of the markets. So as you could see, guys, we don't discuss any fundamentals. We don't discuss anything related to some kind of macro picture. For that, we have WMD on Wednesdays with Bruce Fraser. And in this class, it's just charts. It's just the tape, what the tape, leaves us on the charts. We go through all of the markets, and then we do some, exercises. So
supply.
Yeah, supply is a little bit more right there. Yeah, I'm also noticing it on one. Yeah, this was a significant low on Friday. So no wonder that supply comes in here. Again, as you could guys see, kind of like defining the levels, seeing that the structure is still weaker or weak. Our first assumption is like, yeah, could there be a move here? And we're basically solving this question. Could it be a change of behavior against an upthrust? That's the main idea here. So, and then, you know how the change of behavior would look like, you know how the test would look like, and you know how the upthrust would look like. So you're just trying to figure out what are you seeing on the chart as it unfolds.
And we got to talk about this supply here. Supply, we see it emerge, some selling, but you know it doesn't achieve a great deal. We only kind of close in the top third of that bar.
Mm-hmm.
But we see the presence, kind of this selling pressure here, stopping this market going higher. That's what we see here. Nothing to do. I mean, I don't know about this level, Roman. Actually, like, is this an upthrust? Should we be trading that as an upthrust? I don't. Where is that from a macro? Where's this dotted line from a macro perspective? Is it a very
Right here from Friday's low,
oh
and then
oh
also the break right here. And here is this cluster.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, I mean, like it feels like supply is definitely coming in more
Yeah.
at this point. Would you be thinking now that instead of this, we're looking at this level right here?
Yeah. We've got to be mindful of the spring. It's the only thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Mm-hmm. Well, on one, what we're seeing is, you know, like you could analyze a lower time frame as well. So what are we seeing here? Look at the overall volume decline, William. What do you think
Yeah.
about that?
It's unusual, isn't it? You know, we don't get our usual smiley characteristic of the volume profile. This is abnormal. What does that mean as yet? We don't. Well, how would you interpret that? What does that mean as yet? Well, I mean, there's story of supply. It's not really.
Well, I think that maybe we're just reacting here, and if the volume is diminishing, that's actually okay for the bulls, right? So like
Yeah, of
this
course.
reaction 1, 2,
Yep.
1, 2, 3, ABC. Okay, another attempt to break out.
I'm just thinking here. What do we net from here to here, from here to here? Right. So from this close, from the high down to here, then from
5
here down
points.
to here. So, you know, we have high volume. Cumulative, if you think of David Weiss and the Weiss wave, that would be kind of cumulative volume, which would be effort versus result. With all this volume, we don't really
Yes.
net that much to the downside. So that's telling us there's hidden buying. And now this move coming out of
Confirming.
this, it confirms that, because this is absorbing supply in a way. There's hidden buying here. So, okay, now we're getting this picture of strength now, because we've got hidden buying, effort versus result, and we're pushing on up. Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, if we're doing this, let's just come back. Yeah, hourly is starting to look much better. We're overcoming this bar right here, which is important. Extension is there. I mean, obviously, we still have 13 minutes to go. Yeah, look at how it's overcoming it here.
Yeah. And the good news is there's no hindsight trades here. There's nothing I'll be playing. There's nothing.
Would you be looking maybe like at oil?
I mean, oil's doing nicely now. Yeah. I mean, that is a potentially missed opportunity. This little effort versus result here. Down here. Oh yeah, that's it. If we close above here.
Okay.
It's kind of it's aggressive playing this though, Roman, because look, you're trading against that supply coming down, right? All we're doing here is just that the market is just hinting towards a rally of sorts. That's it. But still, I mean, that is.
Yeah, you're trading more the character than the structure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go to 3. Pretty good extension above all of our resistance levels. So.
Are we going parabolic now, though? That's the question. Look at the angle of ascent.
Well, at least you kind of like that puzzle of the bias at the beginning of the session, like
Yeah.
what is it gonna do, right? So that one is solved. So definitely more bullish than bearish. Great extension above the resistance. So now you're just waiting for some kind of testing action
Yeah. That's it.
and trying to see if there's gonna be some kind of trades there. Running away.
It is. Arguably, is this a potential buy? It's too aggressive for me, and it's nearly open. See this bar
Yeah, and
here?
I don't like necessarily buying at the resistance.
Nah,
So,
trading
you know,
101. Yep.
when it's not your play, then it's not your play. Like, like don't try to squeeze anything out. I mean, like we could probably go through this whole session and might not find like a very acceptable point of entry. But that's why trading sometimes is so boring. You just have to wait for your play.
Good news is as well, this bar's also provided us a line in the sand. We start trading under here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for bearish plays, kind of in the immediate. Right? If we're going to continue north, right, we shouldn't be trading under here. But this bar is a little bit suspect. We are rallying pretty hard here. Time will tell.
I don't know if this is a good comparison, William, but I mean, like just looking at this two
I
big
was just
top
doing
bars. Yeah, but this is open, so
yeah,
it's
exactly.
not like you could compare this, but still, um, both extending really nicely into the close, but definitely the second one is a little bit better. So you're still pretty easily under the bullish bias impression here. Right away, just note on the daily, like, okay, if we hold here, and I thought again, like this level was very important, just demand here, demand here. If we hold here, then I think the next key, event that should happen technically is ability of the closes to be above this red line. So kind of like close here, close in this area. If we're gonna do that, we have not done this before, and that would in itself act as a confirmation of that change of behavior. And we've talked a lot in the tape reading and other classes. Where is this change of behavior? I mean, obviously, it's not the rally itself. This is all written with supply here. It's more around this area right here. Here is your change of behavior. Relative to what? Relative to the previous instances where it happened in a different way.
Yeah, it's a change of behavior structure rather than the wave itself breaking through. The interaction at price. So I like the fact that we're breaking through here quite comfortably.
Yeah.
Double barrel weakness here on the 1 minute time frame. Up thrust, test the up thrust here on these up thrusting bars. Still has supply with a lower attempt to hold in between. Well, here we go. 50% mark. This resistance. Can we come into here for potential buying opportunity? So something could be unfolding here, Roman.
I'm thrilled.
This is trading. It isn't glamorous, Roman. It's a lot of.
I have like a gazillion things to do, and I'm like trading 1 minute time frame. Oh, it's hilarious.
But I think our thesis from the daily time frame, with the daily, although we expected downside continuation, we did find buying from the first support. And how is that buying off support? Well, it's pretty good, isn't it? I think that's telling us something significant. Ooh, what are these two? What do you think of these two bars here?
Which ones, William?
These last two bars with the low volume.
Yes, I'm showing less demand. This looks a little bit climactic. But I mean, it means nothing at this point. Again, 1 minute structure, so it doesn't really mean a lot. Yeah, I think the key here is just not to overanalyze 1 minute. Let's look at the 3.
You go to 3, yeah. Ah, still supply. Doesn't do anything though. Look.
Yeah, all of this, like three bars, and you have like all of them supply bars, and they look somewhat the same. So I'd say like the first like very significant break would show a more meaningful reaction. Like here we've had the break, so this is what William is trying to avoid. Here there is just a touch. So I'd say like next time it breaks it, let's say like here, should extend more than this. Yeah, already doing that. Okay. All right, William. So now we're coming into like slight change of behavior here on the short term. Ooh, this is too strong.
Is that a stop hunt though? Look how quickly it's coming off the lows here. Ooh, this will be interesting.
Okay, well, even though it reacts to the point that we want it to react, but what I'm not liking here is this was the last bar to the upside, and we're almost instantly below that.
And I said that's the line in the sandbar. I mean, you've got to ask yourself, if we hold here, right? Because we're bullish, you have to ask yourself, how is the selling to that level? Well, I see supply. You can't buy here now, unless we do multiple testing areas. You know what I'm saying here. Interesting to see. Can we quickly have a look at the 1 minute time frame, please? I just want to see how that unfolded. Yeah, so it was.
Well, we've talked about this effort versus result, so it's definitely here. Some demand is coming in.
Well, we do get the largest move though with that volume. I mean, that is 8 points, 32 ticks on a 1 minute bar.
Yeah, so
that's significant.
Yeah, even though demand is coming in on any volume spike, you're going to have the opposing force. But and it's just break of this breakout bar is very interesting. So I'd say like when you see increase of the supply like this, even though demand is there, wait for the test. Like see what kind of rally we're going to have here. Could we overcome the high of this bar, or like at least that would be a suggestion for continued bullishness.
There we go, that's a nice little area. I mean, look at the buying coming here. Interesting. Still though, on a 3 minute time frame, there's no way I'll be buying. Well, I guess that would be a hidden spring or spring forming on a 3 minute time frame now. There's no way you could buy that with this kind of supply on the approach to support. Oh, the market's been very kind today, but this is nearly somewhat of a volume anomaly. It's nearly higher than the open, but still. What does this mean now, Roman? Because this is a volume aberration. But now we're trading above it.
Well, negates a lot of the gains of the last run. So definitely shows that, supply is there. This is definitely a change of behavior bar, suggesting that we might be in some kind of trading range right here for some time. Unless we come really quickly here, tests and continuation to the upside, that would be a vertical absorption type of pattern. Some demand is here. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
And I like, again, like as I mentioned, I like how the high of this bar is being attacked, and if we have something above this, then give us some kind of test of that first initial move down.
Can we have a look at the 3 minute now, please?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at this. Yeah. That's a wacky bar, Roman.
Yeah.
You don't want to be seeing this kind of bar. What does it mean? Well, when I usually have these bars, I draw a level of resistance and support. I don't trade anything in between this now. I need the market to give me directionality by trading above or below it. Because this in here is whipsaw. I don't get involved. Here. So at least there's parameters. Wow. I mean, how about if a student comes and says, is that a shakeout?
It's a shakeout type for sure.
Certainly has shakeout characteristics, isn't it?
Yeah, shakeout characteristics. But yeah,
doesn't
but
come
for the
with
shakeout, you need to break the support
Yeah.
considerably and with some progressive closes, to the downside. So here we don't have this. Yeah, I'd say like we're in this area right now, like this kind of boundaries. And I think the key here is just to understand, what are we going to do next? Are we going to continue? Are we going to retest? Again, the most bullish scenario is just to come to the resistance, consolidate in a flat structure, continue to the upside. So somewhere here, there could be an opportunity. And I mean, the way how I look at this, how it unfolds today is like you have probably the opening scalp, you have a continuation scalp, you have a small scalp to the downside. I don't see a lot of strength out of this structure, so I wouldn't say like there is a big swing opportunity here. But you still could be making money on smaller, shorter term trades.
I don't have anything as of yet. Just patiently waiting.
Okay, at the resistance, let's go to 1. Let's quickly also look at oil.
Maybe. Oh yeah.
Yeah, oil is kind of stolen here. Interesting. Okay.
Shorten of the thrust. Kind of no demand going into this area. Look at the buying taper off. A lot of supply towers up here. Could we get an up thrust opportunity? Oof. Yeah, I don't even like that. I wouldn't even let the market pull me in here with a buy stop. I just don't like it, do you? Hey Roman, could you put the 1 minute and 3 minute perhaps side by side?
I
look at the hourly.
Let me.
The daily is showing the strength coming in off the lows. Okay. Then we don't have to switch between the formats.
Okay, yeah, let me just work on this really quick.
Nice little hidden spring there. Look at the volume come in as well on the effort versus result. Hidden spring here in oil. I think oil's been the one that's produced moves today. Here and here. I don't see anything, nothing on the S&Ps as yet.
Okay, a little bit of that, recovery and then testing in the upper part, continuation.
will we fail here dramatically, or will we continue north? That's what I'm asking myself here right now. And I'm going to say, due to that perhaps this kind of shake-up characteristics, wouldn't you say that we're going to continue north? Because it's unusual.
So far, I mean, at least I'm
different?
liking what happens afterwards, right? So,
exactly.
you know, we have like consistency of buying here, yes, and at this area right here, you were talking about like lowering of the demand, but I'm also thinking like lowering of the supply. There's not as much supply right here, so which was, you know, pretty cool. Okay. What do you think about like all of this thrusts?
Mixed bag, really.
Yeah.
There's nothing overtly occurring here. I'll keep my eyes on oil. So, see, even that is a 40 tick move from the lows to the highs.
Okay, well, I'm so curious.
Excellent.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, look at the demand. I mean, like demand, and then demand here.
Yeah, it's increasing all along, isn't it?
But then again, I mean, like this is really hard to buy. I think a better buy was more on the breakout. Again, this type of pattern where you recover, test, continue to the upside, and then you have your point of entry right here. So clearly, we kind of missed that.
That's not my. I wouldn't be buying that. I even hindsightly, it's not my style. I don't like it.
Yeah, but this is the pattern, guys, only in the established uptrending environment. You can't do this in the downtrend. So, yeah. Okay, well, I mean, at least, you know, like we're definitely seeing a lot of bullishness. So all you do now is just like you wait for those reactions and you wait for those tests to come in to produce some kind of buy.
Still intrigued by this kind of shakeout characteristics bar. Look at the continuation. You absorb the supply, we push on through. Okay, well, I think we got a license now, Roman. We have to label this bar now as just let's label it a shakeout because we are trading well above. We get another new leg up. We break on through. We test here. We continue in north. Okay, there is selling on here on this bar. We can see that shorten of a thrust to the upside. We come down. Will we come back down to the 72 level? Let's have a look.
It's a different character of how we travel here in comparison to this. But demand is very dominant in this area. I mean, like there is really nothing that big on the supply.
No, I mean, even that down bar, look where it closes off the lows. You know, there's a lot of buying it. So there's a lack of, really, it's a lack of supply in that bar, really. You think of it, you know, it closes here all the way off the low. So half of that is buying anyway. Did you trade anything at the weekend, Roman?
I'm sorry. Did you say did I trade this weekend?
Yeah.
I had some trades, you know, last week just as like a continuation to the upside. Didn't have any trades over the weekend, although like obviously was watching Bitcoin, which by the way, I mean like let's talk about it because we're This is just a wait game for now. All right. Talk to me about the Bitcoin.
What about the
Ac-
breakout? The
Actually,
top?
let me just show you a different chart. Hold on a second. Okay, here it is.
Well, this is unfolded out as per Tape Reading Lab pretty nicely. I really like this action over here. We get to our first area of supply over here, you know, all of this area. Inability to react. We hold sideways and then break out above the local highs and through here. Now we're getting to this level of supply and we're halting. I mean, look at this look, rally, inability to react. Breakout, inability to react. Although we're here for a longer amount of time, to be expected, you know, we've got all of this supply and cutting away at some of this supply over here as well, Roman.
Yeah,
You
this
know,
is the most important bar.
that is a very important bar for this market to overtake, to overcome. But I know, are you going to get involved with the beast once again then?
Yeah, I mean, I had some positions in cryptos even earlier, just kind of like seeing some strength, and then I just went to somewhere else. I mean, it's nice to see this change of behavior. Again, we've talked about like in this whole area of the downtrend, why we were thinking that, you know, this is going to become a little bit more bullish. Break, 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 break. So you see how the volume signature expands. You've seen probably plus 30% on this volume spike. So therefore demand is coming in. And the breakdowns, you know, like they start to diminish as you see those breakdowns. It's especially the last one. So shortening of the thrust. And then after this emergence of the demand, what happens? Testing is pretty successful. And then demand is coming in for the first time larger than this demand right here that took us, you know, on the right. So this is characteristically very significant, and now it's becoming structurally very significant in terms of the extension. So, you know, definitely bullish for now.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't this rally significant because doesn't it show the best consecutive buying days since this downtrend has begun? Now that is very, with the highest volume, very significant. I mean, I think it was all a bit of the shortening of the thrust to the downside with this huge volume was, you know, it's kind of obvious in hindsight. But I still required this. I still needed to see, although we can see that, you know, there's lack of supply. But I like the confirmation aspect.
With so much momentum, I think, you know, with so much bullish character, it should attack this highs. It should attack this bar right here, just because of that, you know, buying that produces this type of the momentum. If it fails here, let's say like it goes down, I would say like all of this expectation, you know, behind all of this bullish activities, you know, would be kind of negated, and it's better for the price to break through the resistance. And I'm thinking like the high of this bar, this is where I want to see this to go as the target, and just to show this much bullishness. I mean, like this is my contrarian call in terms of like what people are not expecting at this point right now, because the expectation is just more for the reaction, maybe consolidation and continuation, which is totally okay with me. But if we do that, then all of this momentum kind of to me is a little bit wasted. So overcome the resistance, show some more strength, and then consolidate.
Yep.
So we'll have to see. Then also, okay, so let me just take this away. Okay, so a quick look. Supply is coming in, but William, I like how supply is diminishing. I think maybe there is gonna be the first opportunity. Like I'm feeling like your point of entry somewhere close coming in.
Yeah. Yep. We have the lovely lack of supply on the approach. Beautiful time as well. About 40 minutes from the open. Market's made its play. I don't want to see the supply too heavy though.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to be comparing it to this. I want to see like also extending bar like this, like what we've had here, just for the comparative purposes. And here it is. So definitely less supply on the break. So here we're breaking, we're extending down. Here we're breaking, we're extending down, but less on lesser selling. Okay, William, it feels like it's close. A little bit of the shortening of the thrust. In the previous analog, so big bar down, stop in action, and then recovery. So if this pattern is to be broken, like right here,
Yeah,
that would change the view.
Look at this market. Look what it's done. This. I mean, do you disconfirm supply on? I mean, this is probably the worst kind of bar that could have printed from a bullish standpoint, because this is a valid break of that level. But technically, what we're doing here, we are kind of springing here. Are we on a 1 minute time frame? The close isn't particularly great. Ooh, this is not. This is the exact opposite of what I want to see.
Could this be the day of
At least we're knowing
bearish type of switch? Those are the most difficult days. I mean, like, I don't know if it's going to happen or not. We still have to see. But, you know, like that switch, guys, on the intraday basis where like you have a morning which is bullish and then you start producing changes of behavior, testing, and then you go down. Those are the most difficult ones. I don't know if we're going to have one or not, but, you know, let's just kind of like see. But yeah, we have some kind of weakness. I mean, like as we said here, right? So when the supply is coming in,
look at this.
we, we're quickly recovering. Here, we don't do that. Why? Something different is going on, a change of behavior. So as a trader, you know, you kind of have to, well, first of all, to understand that those things will happen. You might have, you know, like an established bias and then boom, like, you know, changes of behavior are coming in. I'd say, William, like reactions are becoming more aggressive.
Yeah. I like the fact that we haven't, you know, we've been safe in a way, haven't we? The market has told us not to take any of these positions here. I'm glad that we read that correctly. This shortened of the thrust to the upside. I still don't see any opportunities up here, Roman. There's nothing clear cut at all. This is
well.
This is
Go ahead.
You're carrying. No, you're carrying. There's nothing clear.
Yeah. Well, I mean, conditions need to be formed if we're, you know, to switch. Looking at the extension here. Go ahead.
There's sustained volume here, like coming down.
Yeah, there's definitely supply increase right here. Yeah. But what if we were to stop here? Let's just say a high or low. The character of this is slightly different than the character of this. So it takes more time for the price to go down. So I'd say like let's still wait. We still have not broken the bullish structure yet.
No.
Okay. Spoken too soon. This seems like it's holding. Okay.
Oh, look where we're holding though. We're holding in this vicinity, the highs of this shakeout bar, whatever you want to label this as.
Yeah, I would say this was a very important bar, and this is very
Yep.
important bar. So yeah, like
Holding
this whole area.
Yeah. Question is, would you really want to be buying here against that? Ooh. What's your thought here from a tape reading perspective? Look, compare this buying to this selling. These two
Probably
bars.
selling a little bit heavier.
Yeah, look at these two bars.
In terms of the result, yeah, not in terms of the volume itself.
No.
I mean, yeah, demand is still better than supply if we were to compare it this way. Yeah, I mean, let's see what happens here.
The lovely
Are we
mixed
gonna
bag.
hold? Are we gonna hold or are we gonna break?
Can we have a quick look at crude, please?
Sure.
Just in case. Okay. Pushing up. Bit climactic. See a little bit of supply. Still holding. Okay. Wow, look at this move. We have become a little bit overbought here in the climactic bar.
Yeah, into the breakdown.
The breakdown bar. Yeah, I mean, that is picture perfect ripe. But would you want to be selling against this kind of move? Not really. At least we're around structural locations. Okay, right. Let the market prove itself now, Roman. Okay, we can switch back to the ES. I don't want to miss anything.
Okay, anything else of interest on the higher time frames?
Bit of supply, which comes in. That's not really a great level at all. How long we got? Well, we've still got 40 minutes left of trading, haven't we? Yeah.
Okay. Definitely, like supply coming in.
Yeah. So it's very tricky here. You kind of got this level here. Look, that's the attempt to hold. Look at the attempt to hold. It's not particularly
nothing there.
Nothing there. So I'm feeling that.
Yeah.
But then
it feels like.
If we let the market pull us in, look, where we got all of this here. This is not favorable conditions, is it, to let the market do that? But in the immediate, look at the attempt to hold. It is very poor. We could find buying anywhere down there. I remember how this unfolded. It shut up, didn't it? Very, very quick.
Okay, let's go to both.
There is no real there's no spring here.
Smaller supply, less extension, so I would be expecting at least an attempt to rally here. So again, around this bar where we met some buying before.
Yeah.
So let's see. And I think analysis in trading is just all about that. It's just like you keep comparing, rallies to rallies, reactions to the reactions. You note important, areas of where, there is an important buying, important selling, important buying, important buying. So like you seeing that this area here is going to be important for the bulls to hold and for the bears to break through.
Yeah. And also how price interacts its structure. I mean, for example, up here, with shorten of a thrust, we come to our first support level. What do? We don't even hold. We knife straight through, have an attempt to hold, then we foul. We come over to this level over here, around this level. It's not a particularly great level, by the way, but we hold here for whatever reason. It's struggling here, Roman. It's struggling to find support. And look, we're knifing it right through.
Yeah, I'd say it was this bar, was this current bar right here. That kind of gives me an understanding that we're changing behavior.
Yep.
We're changing behavior to what? To all of this. So this was just like, maybe a precursor where you see some selling. I mean, this is just too extended to the downside. Laborious move down, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see where it's gonna end. There is a little bit of the local climactic bar right here, so some demand is coming in. Could be a little bit of a trap for bulls. Okay, but definitely, like William, like this extension is just too much to my liking.
Yeah, I mean, it's the longest selling duration we've had for the day, and like I said, what's occurring here? There's an inability to hold supports. We're knifing straight through. That's not good.
Yeah, look at verticality down.
Yeah.
So this is too fast, too much, and supply is not even spiking. So there is some kind of, I want to say, ease of movement on the 3, but definitely some laborious like attempts to stop on the 1.
Yeah.
Okay. While we're doing this, let me show you just one of my latest. Okay, is there anything here that you're seeing?
Nope, not on the 3-minute
No.
one. Nothing here for me.
Okay, so I love trading Tesla a lot. I mean, like, had really good trades, had bad trades here. Yeah.
I mean, that's obvious.
This was a trade. This was one of the best trades in Tesla that they had. I had a trade right here as well. Kind of missed a couple of opportunities there. Got back in right here. So, and on Friday, just, too much of the volume. But this was a very quick, sweet trade. This is times 5, like this was also times 5, times 7, depending on the close of the position. This was, I believe, that was only just by 40%, something like this. But Tesla moves, when it moves, it just like moves so nicely. And you could time your entries exits just based on the volume signature, on the volume profile. So like my exit on Friday just is all about that, and plus the structure. I mean, obviously, we're seeing the first initial resistance. What do you think about Tesla just in general?
I mean, for me, swelling volume often dictates a potential change in trend, which I say all the time. I mean, look at this. I mean, you have to be buying, which is good to see.
This was the change to the downside right here.
Yep.
Change to the upside.
Were you playing options? Is that correct? So you're playing options with these moves? Are you?
I'm sorry? Yeah, I'm playing options.
Options, yeah.
Yeah, with stocks, I mostly trade options. Yeah.
This is not usually like you though, Roman. This is kind of my more style exit. But were you playing the volume as well, the gap?
Yeah, the volume. Like all of those volume spikes that they make so much change, like so much sense to me.
Ending action, like over here as well.
Yeah, I mean, right here on this trade, like I started, getting out because of the options. You can't really get out on the way up. Your premium collapses too fast, so you have to time it with the trims or the exits that are going to be volume-driven events. The same here, and then obviously all of this was just like a perfect like testing after the initial stop, and Friday is just showing too much volume signature. You don't want to go into the reaction where just again your premium was collapsing today, just on that. So you want to come in, take a piece, leverage it, leverage the hell out of it, and
It's a good move. Very good move.
yeah. Mhm.
What's occurring on the ES, Roman? I can see
Yes,
406.
what's going on?
We come down 14 point. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Time
definitely a
taken.
change of behavior.
Oh, look, we've got that volume spike here. We're trying to
Hmm.
spring the lows here. Is that a spring we would take, Roman?
No, I would not be taking this. Why? Because again, change of behavior. Too much. Yeah, I mean, like you could scalp here for sure. You could just assume that as opposing force is coming in, you're gonna have some kind of attempt to rally. But
Of course, yeah.
I mean, like, okay, so where would it go?
What do you think of that as a test?
Yeah, I mean, like very, very much local test here
Yeah.
for the rally somewhere here. So here's your like, 5 point scalp, something like this. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't mind that, but I don't feel like I'm in a very much trading mood today. Like, to be in and out, in and out. Just waiting for much clearer point of entry probably is better.
Oh, there's a spring and there's a test. Let's see where that goes. And by the way, I love counter trend trading, as you know, Roman. If you are
Mhm.
taking this play or the test, you've got to be understanding that you're in that change of behavior wave and your expectations are going to be different, right? And you don't go in there with full clip, third of your size or a quarter of your size.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, you and I we talk about this many times. So usually, guys, you're gonna have trending trades and you're gonna have counted trending trades. So for the trending trades, usually for me, 3 units as a full position, and then for the counter, 1 unit. So if you're doing something like this, you don't want you're going against what? Against this, against the change of behavior.
Yeah.
So here, 1 unit would be more appropriate. And when I say 1 unit, you could have like 10 units here, and then for the full size, you're gonna have 30 units. 30 contracts.
Yeah, you can have
So
10. You can have 10 contracts for 1 unit, or
mhm.
30 contracts for your whole 3 units or something. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, William, I mean, like, obviously, we are in the middle of like this potential uh, bias change game, right? So I'm sorry, not game, bias game, bias change day, where we starting with one bias, maybe we're going to a different bias right now. So I guess my question is like, what are we looking for? Um, Let me actually start answering this. And this is actually a good demand bar, but usually with this type of counter moves, what I would be expecting is some kind of weaker continuation above this level, and then just to see if I could find some kind of points of entry right here,
Mhm.
for the downside. Um, don't necessarily would love the continuation right away. So I would be looking for something like right here, William.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at both. I'm looking at both these areas now. We've got this little
Mhm.
demand zone. We've got the selling. Got effort versus result coming on this last part. A little bit of selling. A little bit of buying coming in. It's an intriguing day today, Roman. Actually, let's see. I'm intrigued, but yes, ideally trading with the trend, we want to just see a weak rally into this area. Just.
Mhm.
Hmm.
You were right. Last Friday was better. Would be trending up day the whole day, and from the beginning, and there would be no change. We would come out as gods. We know everything, and now we have to trade this. Seriously.
Wow. Sitting on your hands and knowing when to trade and when not to trade. I still don't see anything here. Arguably, this, a sell of this, but even that I really don't like. But the fact that we break, and that's a very poor attempt to hold. But no, there's nothing really here. I mean, look at the buying here. What do you think of this buying as to the last bout of buying?
Nothing there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's look at our analog. So this is our bar here, this bar here. Let's see the next bar.
Okay. A bunch of like comments, questions.
Holding the lows though of this potential shakeout bar. We haven't managed to trade under it as of yet. But we saw that flurry of orders come in. We see how price suddenly just didn't it, rallied up. So they're protecting virals over here. And now look at the analog, this to this, Roman. It's weaker. The market,
yeah,
I was going to say, the market isn't even kind and gives us like a fouled spring straight away to play, does it? We get a bit of continuation and then some more testing and then poor.
Yeah.
And here we go.
And you kind of could see, guys, why, like right here on this screen, we're saying like you have to decrease risk here. So you have to decrease your size. So 1 unit and see it just like, go into this area, but go into the lower part of this area. So you have to like either have your hand on the trigger or just have like a limit sell right away, closing your position on that unit. Just like there is not a lot, but you have to have the capacity to identify the best rally, best counter rally if you're trading, like that. If you have directional trading and you have counter trend trading. So, but not a lot
there. I don't mind this play over here, Roman. I don't mind this play over here. Student took that.
No, it made a lot of sense. It made a lot of sense.
Yeah, as long as they have the awareness, because beginners or intermediate traders, they still have a.
But see, I don't want to even like, for myself personally, I'm at the point where I don't want to even exude the energy to trade this. Like mental capacity. Like, I see that there's going to be a bounce. This is a counter trade, like I'm not going to increase the size and all of that stuff, but
Oh, look at this time. So this is the last spring here. This is weaker this time. So all the analogs at this support level are weaker and suggesting lower prices. Oh dear. We can read it. It's just the market's just not being kind, is it? There's no entries here.
Definitely that, I like what kind of days I like for the S&P. I like obviously trending days.
Wow. There we go.
Which are just like some kind of continuation days. And what I hate, all right, let's put it this word. This is very strong, but okay. Contraction. But with the contraction, even though you don't have a lot of opportunities there, once you see that you're in the trading range, you could, trade the boundaries. So it's all about resistance support. And the second day that I don't like, okay, let's just don't put hate there, don't like, is that bias reversal day. And bias reversal somewhere in the middle of the day. So you have either this or you have something like this, where you have a significant, like move down first and then significant move up, and then significant move down. So those are pretty challenging because you have to catch the intraday change of behavior, and then you have to wait for testing, and then you go into some kind of confirmation. And we're still in this change of behavior. I mean, like, I'm not seeing any proper testing. This was the first time when the testing should have happened, right? So like if we were to have some kind of trading range right here and then we come right here, that would be such a good point of entry.
But this shows you how weak the market is, though. Look, the inability, the no demand here, essentially.
It gives you a clue. It gives you a clue that, right, from up, we're definitely now down.
Mhm.
And now you have to like, and this is such a very important mental skill for us as traders, right? If you see in that intraday bias change, you have to mentally shift. And as you like, we're not doing any journaling right now, but we should have, William, right? We should have probably show people how we journal during the day. And you have to put this in your journal. You have to switch mentally, and it's really hard, because bias could be so subjective, and this is where a lot of mistakes are being made.
I mean, I I didn't really like this move. That's not a valid break. Then we get short under the thrust. Then we come to support. Like I'm not, and we don't hold here. This is not an easy day. But the good news is, Roman, in hindsight, I still don't see any moves apart from this
Mhm.
small counter trend. Now I like these counter trend plays because and then you don't know that another day the market could perhaps rally to here before it
Okay,
finds supply.
William, let's discuss what's happening right now. Just I
Shorten
have
of the
like
thrust
this. Yeah.
massively into the
Hmm.
buying of the open.
Yes.
Ooh, what are you thinking?
So
Hidden
I'd say
spring?
again, as a scalp somewhere here, that
Yeah.
could be a possibility. I mean, like I'm like would be thinking like show me a little bit of holding. So I'm seeing like
Is it on
diminishing supply character. Uh,
54, 59, 5, 6 points, I guess?
yeah,
We got short of the thrust to the downside. We got a little hidden spring here, down at the lows.
yeah. I'd say
Oof.
like overcoming this. If it
It's not
does, yeah, would be triggered right now. Maybe a slightly above that. Let me
it's not
just see.
met with the best kind of buying though, is it, after this short of the
Yeah,
thrust?
there is not enough buying, but like if we this is important right now. So you want to kind of like have your finger on the trigger, right? So like, see it didn't break. So let's just see if there's going to be some kind of other opportunity. Okay, so demand is definitely here. The demand is coming in, and it's still broken, still very weak.
Absorb
So
that buying tip. Bang, chunk
yeah.
down.
All right, so you still stay in the way.
Isn't it amazing? Even though we could read this weakness over here from the analogs, all of these analogs completely readable. Nothing to do here. You can't let the market pull you in as you break lower. Poor trading. Hmm.
Okay.
Everything is actually still suggesting very weakness, isn't it? Because all the support levels are
Hmm.
breaking. We
Hmm.
had an attempt to hold here, and we wanted to retest. We couldn't get the retest. We went with no demand, and instantly we broke
Hmm.
down.
At the support here
At
again,
the
beginning
support,
of the session. Yeah,
and
still
now
weaker.
still. I
Some
mean, there's
demand is here. Like
yeah, it's not
I'm
a valid
seeing
break.
some demand here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not a valid break at that level. We
Yeah,
but
but look at the continuation. Like
good
I'm
play.
I'm thinking like, okay, diminished spread, even like with lower high volume signature, and then start coming back. I mean, you could be thinking here uh any type of scalps, but see how just like sell, sell, sell. I'm
Yeah,
feeling really good about that Tesla close on Friday. That was perfect for
can we have
options.
just a quick look on the 60 minute? I mean, how is this looking? Because
Yes.
we're coming.
Yeah, oh, look at this. The
Engulfed.
beautiful negation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's engulfed. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, from here, I would expect continuation to the downside.
Mhm. Yeah. So in a way, like you were talking about, like a touch of this zone right here,
Mhm.
for the session. We still could be there. I mean, this is a 20-point move to the downside right here, and we started with like, okay, could we have an up thrust right here into this area? Took us a little bit higher than I was expecting it to be, but and maybe that's why there was no trades right away. If it would be like a smaller up thrust, I think it would be easier to go down.
Mhm. So bear in mind, we still have 20 minutes left of this bar to unfold.
Yeah.
We still could close further down off the lows.
We could be like stupidly the whole day. Like
we could be range bound, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at other days. Yeah, so there's movement, kind of range bounds in the upper half. Okay, kind of reversal, continuation, trending. Okay. So we were met with buying at support. Immediately, boom, sellers emerge. Interesting.
Okay, William, what do you think here?
I mean, it's just keeps on going south. Look, it's very interesting. You come to the US Open straight at that level, no ability to. There's not even an attempt to hold here on a 1 minute time frame. There's a bit of volume there, which shows there's buying involved in that bar, but that's when we'd say that supply overcome demand here. Any attempts to buy, sellers just absorb that. But now we are getting short of a thrust to the downside, as we can see.
I'm starting to emotionally kind of like let's just have a trade, even if it's counter trade. Like
you want to buy, don't you?
Well, I mean, like the next logical thing is to buy.
The next,
it's not
the next counter trend rally, which
and I'm seeing this. I mean, like look at how supply is diminishing right here. So to me, I probably would be thinking like, okay, this is the level to like for the scalp to come in, would overcome this level right here. So probably, I mean, the most optimistic target is somewhere here. But it just doesn't give you that opportunity. Let's just say, like, would you go for this scalp? What do we have here? 51 to 56. Yeah, 5 points.
I mean, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This one fouled straight away. I mean, look at the analog. Ooh. It's
so weak. Yeah, I think this is the time to have some kind of rally. It just feels this way. Say anything above this. Some demand coming in, no continuation down. I'm micromanaging this on the 3. So
yeah, we look at the short and the thrust on the 3 minute is very evident, right?
Yeah.
Supply is diminishing. Okay. Well, buy stop. This is a very aggressive counter trend move, but I like it.
Still weak.
Still weak.
Okay. So, and then, when nothing happens, guys, like you have some kind of assumption, right? So let's say like, oh, it's going to rally. Here's the counter trend. And it's just, doesn't take off. Regroup, still think like through your analysis right here.
No. Look at that weakness. Okay.
Okay, William, I'm going to step away for a second.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this move down. There's just nothing here, is there? Okay, yep, no problem. Let's note, look at the supply bars coming down. So we break through structure here. We halt, we break down, still supply. Particularly, oh yeah, this one, it breaks down through here. Here we try to break through the open. And we hold this level, we gain. Look, we still see supply coming in. Did absorb some buying here, but it's still a pretty good break if you think of the spread of this break. It's not as great as it once was, But look at the average true range here. It's smaller, so the bar has extended. Okay. Oh, I don't think I have the clean function. Bit of effort versus potentially some lying here. Then we compare this selling to this buying.
Oh, well, here it is, William. Yeah.
Well, I was just looking at this breakdown bar. It is less in volume, or the spread is smaller than the other bars, but then contextually, locally, it's actually a good break. But yes, a little bit of effort versus result here, and now we kind of get this reversal.
Okay, so here's this counter.
So our last counter was this, right? Over here.
So comparing it to this.
So let's just see what happens. Will we get a big down bar, or will we test here, or get continuation straight away? I don't like this though, Rem, because our first obstacle's right here. Stop is.
But I mean, like the same strategy, like for the scalp, let's say like at 48, slightly above. So you probably, this is your target right here as an initial target. I like that the second bar is actually up compared to
this one. It's
down.
already at the analog wise, it's already better than this over here. Great.
So yeah, stepped away. So here, here we go. Definitely not kind of like we didn't trigger this, right?
No, I wouldn't be playing that. No.
Yeah. So see, I'm a little bit more aggressive, on this type of plays. This makes a yeah. I mean, it makes a lot of sense to me because you know that you're in the oversold condition. You are going to have the counter rally. So again, your size should be just 1 unit to your regular size of 3. And your targets is going to be, this is target number 1. Like you could partially get out here if, let's say, like 1 unit represents multiple contracts. And after that, you just like put the stop loss. You already have the profit on this last unit, and you just letting it ride. And that's it. Now your next target is going to be somewhere here on this support and on this break, and maybe slightly somewhere here.
I'm going to be interested to see. We might have the ability to short with the trend. I mean.
But I mean, William, now that we're seeing this is just a change of behavior as well, right? So this is local to what? Local to all of this decline. So decline is still going to be way, way more than this rally. Rally is not going to go up to the new, high. So it's going to stop somewhere. But this is a local change of behavior. Now we're waiting for the test. And I like this technique where you like, okay, you're waiting for this rally to unfold. Here's your stop buy. It didn't trigger. Okay, so next opportunity, it didn't trigger, next opportunity, and then it triggers, and then you just play it. Okay, let's look at something else now. It's becoming a little bit boring. Okay, so on the daily, we're still holding within the the bullish structure here. Even though we hit the resistance here, so all of this weakness today is because of that. Yeah, what do you see on the hourly?
Well, the hourly showing a little bit more. We're closing off the lows, shows some buying. We're not fully engulfing, but we still have 8 minutes left. Be interesting to see what comes out the last minute or two of trading here. You've got the hourly traders coming in. They may make it close weak.
By the way, what about oil? I mean, like, look at the at the 3 here.
I mean, look at that, Roman. We should be watching oil. I mean, look at this, another rally up. Ends a little bit climactic here. We'd expect the reaction. Look how choppy this reaction is. Basically, no supply on top of resistance. Yep.
Okay, so would you have any plays here?
I mean, I think that's the play. This is the play, and around here. Nothing's unfolded for me on the ES as of yet.
Would you be thinking
apart from
here?
that counter trend play, that counter trend.
Would you be thinking here just like, you know, some kind of upthrust with some supply coming in?
There certainly is supply coming here, but would you want to trade against this kind of strength here, Roman? Ooh. You know, everything from down here has been bullish.
Yes.
including this recent price action.
Okay, I'm just thinking this is still more dominant.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but there is supply.
Breakdown.
That's like, of all the plays, I wouldn't want to be taking that one.
Okay. Right. Okay, what else? Okay, so we're testing right now. Are there any plays for you here on the test?
No. There's nothing here structurally, is there? There's nothing. What do you think?
Well, I mean, you could probably think that, you know, with this oversold move, this is a sign of weakness for the whole session, just below the open. So your bias is still to the downside, but you're thinking, okay, is there an opportunity, you know, after the test holds, if it holds, you know, like to go above the resistance? I mean, like not a big move, but you know, something into like the upthrust area. So another possible scalp. That's the only thing that I'm kind of like seeing here. For a much more significant move to the upside, I would prefer, you know, multiple tests of the resistance and then test of the support again to create the causality, you know, and to go to the upside, something like this. So it's not that I'm seeing like a bullish reversal right away. It's just, yeah, a bullish change of behavior, better what we've had here, suggesting that at the minimum, we did not have a trading range right here, per se. I'm thinking here we are going to be a little bit more bound to the resistance.
I think there will be the play of the day. I think is going to originate around this structure.
Yeah,
I think we are going to form some kind of trading range, and it will become evident.
Yeah,
sellers still in control. Don't get me wrong. There has been a bit of buying. Change of behavior is there. I mean, it's not the best change of behavior in the world. You know, arguably we have failed at the first resistance level, or selling came in, I should say. But now we're holding a higher level of support. Why aren't we testing down here? I need to step away for a moment, please, Rem. Bear with me.
sure.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, someone was asking about, okay. What does laborious move mean? Okay, well, laborious move, yeah, there's no any references there whatsoever to any like, you know, language semantics. When we talk about the laborious move, something like this, where this is pretty cleanly to the downside with a lot of force, you see a lot of supply coming in, and extension of the spread. Here you don't see this, but the price still goes down. And every time it goes down, there is some demand that is coming in trying to stop. So that's what we mean by the laborious move. Okay, let's just see if that's going to break in that, you know, again, there is a scalp opportunity here because supply is lower. You kind of like see how supply profile forms. So this was a good scalp. This could be somewhat of a good scalp with an idea that we might, you know, a little bit overcoming this resistance into this bar right here. This is the breakdown bar, so that's kind of like our target. So we'll just keep this in mind. Another question. Can you go over the thought process of your trade in Tesla from April to June? Yeah, we could definitely do this. Let's just see kind of like other questions maybe on the day. Sharon is saying maybe a frustrating day, but still good examples of what not to do, but watch and know your style. Okay, sure. From Stinley, can you explain why demand did not perform? Well, the supply is stronger than demand, right? More selling, and that's what is kind of like being produced. Plus, when you look into, let's say, this area, Stinley, I'm assuming that we're talking about this area right here. You know, what kind of demand do we see? We don't see a lot of demand, right? So demand was pretty weak in this area, and that's why when you look at the supply, it's still increasing and it's still better than demand, dominating demand, and that's why we have attempts to go up, and then all of them are failing. Okay, so here is that second scalp. You know, here I would be thinking like either a stop loss somewhere close or just taking some profit. So you basically take 5 and 5 and you know, go to another trade. Okay, so what else? How do you think about using the 1 and 3 minute charts versus PNF charts from Chris? Do you prefer the 1 minute? So I like trading off the PNF as well. There's a lot of tape reading there that could be done very successfully. And it's much cleaner because PNF basically is your cumulative result and cumulative effort. And that's what I love about the PNF. So you could most definitely use PNF for tape reading. Plus, you could have your cause counts, which is also pretty cool using the PNF. Okay, what else? Don't want to go too much into that. Tesla trade. Yep.
Roman?
Yes.
Are you there?
Yes.
Oh, good, good.
Okay. We had a question here about the trade that I had in Tesla. So the key there, I mean, the initial analysis was actually a comparison of, I believe it was Apple 2008. So you'll have to go there and kind of like see this analog to Apple. And the idea was that we're going to go down. This bar was somewhat climactic, so right away point of entry on the negation of that bar. Then there was another point of entry right here. This was earnings, so you kind of had to go through like a gap and then move down, which you know, clearly I did, and that was nice. Extension down, so you're still keeping it. Your targets now is here, just because of the strength of this bar. Have to go through this reaction and then continuation down. Again, I said that I'm trading options, so it's extremely important for me to get out on the strength rather than on the weakness. Otherwise, options collapse. And you use your volume signatures to do exactly that. And that was the exit right here, multiple points of exit. My last exit actually was somewhere here, which I didn't like. Again, it's on the way up, but usually, you know, like you're gonna have a couple of good exits, and then, you know, the last one was the low one. What would be, you know, a little bit more. Simon is asking, what type of expiration would you be thinking using that first trade? So usually I'm thinking here about 3 months expiration options. Why? Because I don't want 1 month. 1 month expiration is going to give you such a run for your money in terms of like you have to be right now, you have to be vertically down, you have to have a lot of volatility increase. Within 1 month, it might not happen, and your time premium starts to collapse so drastically, especially after like day like 10 or something like this into the trade. And you might not outrun the collapse of the time premium relative to the collapse in the price, especially if you have like a smaller move like this, let's say, right? So you got to be really careful about that. And that's all I have to say about this particular trade. So let's come back to S&P. William, so yeah, so the second scalp has worked, right? So here it is, 5, 5. But that's all that I'm seeing. And as we said, we're kind of expecting the structure right here with some kind of, this area possibly being, an upthrust. Would love for the price to come back into the trading range first.
Yeah, I switched over to my charts on the bars under here. So there was a move. I'm not saying that we'd cover down here, but that was the potential move on offer. And we can even see from the spring itself, it's weaker in comparison. Look how weak it closes to manage. Look how weak the close is above that level of structure compared to the analog spring over here. And we have no demand before it. It was a missed opportunity, but I'm not blaming your candlesticks, Roman. You know I'd never do that. But,
yes, you are. Yeah, I think this is a missed opportunity. Continuation play.
That's the only one.
And see, like mentally, we were thinking like, give us something weak into this area, or maybe like into a lower high, and then we go from here. But it was weaker, and definitely just a break. I was thinking more of the rally here into the lower high. That would be nice. Like oil examples come to my mind a lot. I mean, just in the downtrend.
I think the signals are here though. Like, look at that rally to here with the no demand. That's the failed spring. That's kind of saying we're not going to go up there. But that's trading.
By the way, look at the supply. So definitely lower than anything before. So still favorable for some kind of, trading range, stopping action of all of this, madness to the downside.
I mean, I actually kind of like that for a little short play.
Which one?
This bar here. I'll be drawing this across. I'd notice this, and then I'd look at the volume over here associated with this move, and we're trying to break through on much lower volume. So that's a little hidden spring, but okay.
I definitely. You're talking about the scalp here as well.
Yeah, this is the first support, but if this breaks, then we get white space. If it holds, then you cover. But that's kind of trading, is knowing your environment, isn't it? Like, we know the obstacle's here, but I think that the signal's there.
Okay, let's quickly look at oil. So your play would be good here. Why are we not doing this?
And again, look, inability from that up thrust on the time frame, no ability to follow through. Boom. Break out. This was the market we should have been looking at today. But look at the 60-minute time frame on the thing here now. Look.
Yeah. Well, you wanted to see the tail, so yeah, it did come in above the low.
This means we're range bound, I think, Raymond.
Yeah. So if we're range bound, let's talk about tactics for range bound markets. So yeah, as we said, maybe I'd still say, William, that supply is definitely better, overpowering demand. So I wouldn't be surprised even seeing like some kind of continuation, as you suggested at the beginning of the session, to this level, at least an attempt. Look at how your scalp would be working out.
Yeah, this is my style. I know it doesn't look particularly attractive, but the way I'm reading this here, Roman, is an inability to go up at this level of the breakdown. This breakdown takes us into new lows on kind of this volume. We're trying to break through here on much lower volume. It takes equal or greater volume to break through a previous area of support and resistance. It just so happens that we do have this support in the way, though. So you have to bear that in mind. And if that's not a risk you're willing to take, then you don't take the play. But it's not a gamble, because we are effectively trading with the trend. We can compare that rally to this rally. It isn't as aggressive, and look, we can even tell from the volume profile. And the end bar here, we see effort versus result, and then it flattens off. Doesn't go anywhere. We could easily spring. Well, look, yeah, we could easily spring here.
Okay, let's come back here.
But taking those counter trade rallies, Roman, as you know, sometimes they run, like this one over here. From this spring another day, it could rally up to here, or it could rally up to here. We don't know what the market will give. But what do you think of this breakdown bar here?
Well, I mean, I really like in terms of the scallops, more of like either more significant like support or oversold condition. So I like to play out those. Once we're more in the trading range environment, I just don't have a lot of patience, to go through, like, say, like a structure like this, where, like if I'm entering here, I have to go through this reaction to the scalp. It just like seems to be like a little bit too much. So this is not necessarily my play. I mean, like, I totally get that. For the scalp, but
here we go.
Yeah.
What's going to occur?
Okay.
Coming up to here now.
I'd say like all of this is just a function of the oversold condition.
Yeah.
Below the open. So you want to necessarily, show some strength, right? So like it would be a weird day, like, to do it like that. But that's what trading range is about.
Yeah, I mean, this move here, I like this rally. It's better than the last rally. So we can see.
Okay, yeah, well, maybe something is coming up for you there. Yeah, I don't see any like clean swing trades for me today.
There's been no full clip play.
Yeah, I would say, like, I would agree with you. Yeah, this probably was that, missed opportunity just to the downside.
Yeah, the foul spring.
Yeah, but everything else is just scalp. Initial open scalp, continuation scalp. Here's the vertical absorption with the test. And then I don't see anything here until this bar. Then this and this. That's it so far. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 small trades. But sometimes days are like this.
How's oil doing? Is that leading the S&Ps today? Because that seems to be rallying, and then the S&Ps is catching up.
Do you want to look at the comparative? Okay, let me just put on another.
So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Dow is definitely outperforming today. Technology is the weakest. Russell is somewhat holding. Spiders are somewhat holding. Okay. Oh boy. What a day. Okay. Change of behavior relative to the rally.
Yep.
Change of behavior relative to the reaction.
And now notice how that resistance levels are being broken through. No supports were being broken all the time. And then we get to here, agreed, not as good as this level, but we do react. And then we rally up here. It's definitely some selling on that last bar, we can see. Okay, now.
I would assume that we are in this big trading range, and then, you know, when that happens, I usually start looking for mini structures around that support and resistance. Could we find those?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a little buying zone now here. I'm looking to disconfirm supply. Can we get a nice opportunity to buy with this kind of trend? Right, oh, we are a little bit overbought here. You know, right up to say here, which will be in this kind of vicinity. Let's see. Look at the 3-minute time frame, though, Roman. Nothing really clear at all, is there? That spring. If you look at the spring on this volume, if I'm looking at the 3-minute time frame, instantly those familiar with my work will know if that's a spring, which is a sign of strength in its own right, and that's the test. What do you think of this test? Straight away, volume too high, retracement is too much. That's telling us supply is in the market. There we come back down. That's kind of that other foul spring we saw on the 1-minute time frame over here unfolding. But this would not be a setup on this time frame though. But you can certainly see the weakness there. So here we go. So we see a little bit of supply. Ooh, a little bit more significant here on the 3-minute time frame. Volume low in comparison, Roman. Look, coming down. No real ease of movement to the downside. So we were in an overbought condition here. Okay. Which is in this area of supply. Over here. And this is how we reacted. We couldn't even react to kind of this confluence area over here, support/demand line. As of yet. You know, that's showing a bit of additional strength. There's an inability to react. Right? We might halt.
You know, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say we might halt around here, but let's just see what happens. What is he going to say?
If we are in this, you know, big structure, big trading range for today. So look at how or where they are selling or where they're buying. So they are selling here. We're seeing that supply increase. And now they're buying here. So, but what happens, you know, like afterwards? Yeah, still some selling. So I wonder if this pattern is gonna like repeat something like this. All right, William. So, I mean, is this enough of a change of behavior for you to the upside to start thinking like, okay?
Yeah, it's significant enough. I mean, yes, we do kind of slam straight down, but look where we're going to. We're going over 50% from the high to the low. This is showing demand in the market. Significant. I like the way that we've broken through the resistance levels. So now, from a trading perspective, for the high odds plays, we now have the confirmation of demand. We can see that the way that we're trading through structure, and we have the change of behavior. Now we just need to disconfirm supply on any kind of reaction now, Roman. We do that here, but can you really play this play? No, you can't. You can't take this. We're in the overbought condition right here. Can we get a nice feathering down to any support level, Roman? Any support level. Anything for you here, Roman?
No, no, nothing. Would be just like waiting for some kind of reaction. Now, if I would be, let's say, like thinking like, okay, is there some kind of trade here on the reaction? So just below the low of this bar, last commitment to the upside, no real big extension as we had before. And then, come in, let's say target 1, target 2.
Oh, another counter trade. Is that what you're thinking? Another counter trade play?
Well, yeah, I mean, like if it happens, but
yeah.
I'm thinking, the contrary trade here is still to the upside after this much strength.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Like what we've done right here, because this was like so unexpected relative to the beginning of the session, and then some kind of continuation, like akin to what we've had here for this type of thing.
That's interesting here.
Yeah, it fails, then yeah, to the targets.
We've got a little no demand bar here. Look, little no demand bar, right in this area. Kind of the lowest volume up bar we've seen. But then again, it's preceded by a little hidden up thrust. Nothing to note here. Let's just see how we navigate through here. The supply is still drying up. Look, coming down.
Yeah, and don't we have like the contraction on daily? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say like this is an expansion by any means.
No.
So we're at 85 and 40, so 45 points. I mean, still relative to like, 5 years ago, even.
Yeah, that's our analog. That's what I'm kind of looking at. I'll break up this bar, and then here.
And we stated at the beginning, like, like this is comparable to this in the pre-market analysis, right? So this is way more muted selling than we've had before. So again, you're not changing your overall daily bullish bias until you break down this level right here, and it's still holding. Yeah, look at how on the hourly we found support. We're finding support again, but 40 minutes to go.
Look, all the supply towels coming in up here.
Here's that break of this bar, not happening yet, but close.
So from that little no demand bar, we have a little bit of consistent selling, but nothing overt's come out, has it? Oh dear.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking here just a reaction. We break this level and we go in either here, so below this low, yeah, or slightly below that.
I mean, if we look at crude, and that's been leading, so this reaction would take us a significant way down. There's no real support anywhere near. So,
heavy on the supply right here.
Yeah.
So here is your scalp developing there, but I mean, after the change of behavior, again, like I'm not necessarily like very keen to trade those because this should be with the limit buy on the exit. It could just like quickly go and then start rebounding, so you don't want to wait for any profit taken manually. Just do this with the orders. Wow, what a day, William, we've picked for this exercise. All right, so how would you manage this? You definitely want to have that limit buy. Here's your first target, it's hit, so you would be already in the money right here. And then right away, you move the stop loss conservatively here and more aggressively to 1/2 of this bar when it's going to end in 2, 1, and here we are. So somewhere here at 1/2. You don't want to give up any profit here on your scalp for multiple reasons. Well, you just want to stay profitable, number one, but secondly, like you don't know how the bounce is going to happen here, how quickly it can bounce up.
I mean,
so then right away, move the stop loss here.
I mean, look at the no demand bar on the 3-minute time frame with all these selling tails, this little up bar trying to go through all this area of supply on that kind of volume, same kind of play. And then boom, sellers do take advantage of that environment. Look, slam straight down. A little bit of ease of movement here. But here we go. We're slamming now into a level. Again. Do we disconfirm supply on that reaction? Exactly. Right? Look at this bar.
Yeah.
It's the market. Oh dear. Look at the attempt to hold here, though. It's a pretty good attempt to hold.
Can you briefly discuss your intraday journaling process from Philip? Philip, yeah, apologies for not putting this up. Why don't we do this next time we do a session like this? But basically, you know, if you're an intraday trader, I think the frequency of your journaling should be between 15 to 30 minutes. So every 15 to 30 minutes, depending on like what you trade and the timeframes there, you would have to like go through what is my market analysis, and then the second thing that you're journaling about is the assessment of yourself, either physical or mental. So you would just go through like, okay, is there anything going on with me? So that's just a point of awareness that you want to keep up during the session, just because majority of our mistakes come from our minds rather than from the charts.
Or using candles instead of bars, maybe. I would say for my aspect of journaling, Roman, slightly different. When I'm in position to alleviate the monkey mind, I want to say, how do I want to see price?
Yeah. So you're developing scenarios.
Yeah, develop
preparing
scenarios.
your mind for any like different opportunities, and I like the assessment of self as well. You kind of have to do this throughout the session. As at some point you might say like, you know, today is not the day for me, and just like step away and be okay with stepping away. I mean, like a lot of people just can't, you know, like go away. Not, you know, and trades come out and then, you know, like you reiterate all of the bad mistakes.
Just look what's occurring here. This no demand, then we expand to the downside. We have an attempt to hold. Technically, we spring on this bar. Instant failure. Once again. Yes. So just back to the journaling room. Yeah, correct. Every time I'm in position, I like to write down and jot how price should unfold to that level. It alleviates that monkey mind, but also you can disconfirm. You know, you get great data, you can great analysis or great insights into the markets by, if you can disconfirm what's occurring, then you automatically get the confirmation of the market in a way. So it alleviates the monkey mind, and you're never, you know, left staring. What do they say? The rabbit in the headlights kind of scenario. You're not left startled. You're never caught off guard, if it were. I don't really journal my mental state though.
William, what do you think here?
Yeah, short of thrust, some buying coming in. It's to this level though, right? You know, this was resistance, support, flirt, break up, the holding here. But this is structural integrity because of this little bit of flirting around here, you can't really trade this level here. It's only kind of perhaps on the next touch, really, that I'll be looking to be a buyer here.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Because this little bit of flirting around here, essentially we do break down, but then we do trade above. But will this level come into fruition going forward? We don't know. But now we know there is.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think of this local structure, this change of behavior to this rally?
Well, I think the extension is pretty significant. Let's say like climactic action, automatic rally, secondary test, and then you are extending pretty far from the structure itself.
Yes.
So I wouldn't say that this is like extremely negative right here. I'm just thinking maybe for the whole session, like what we're gonna keep doing is like, okay, if this is phase A, so let's say this phase A, we are in B. So how would B behave in a bullish environment, considering that maybe like this is the whole day? So here is our spread for the day, right? Daily spread. So how would we behave here in phase B? Yeah, we would be around this area right here until we maybe like fail a break to the retest and then continue to the upside to retest this again. I mean, maybe later on there might be some kind of opportunity here. I think that if we are gonna go up from here, this would be extremely confusing, just because this would be like the whole structure for the day with so many changes of behavior, right?
Yeah, that would be an unusual day, yeah.
Here, change of behavior, then this change of behavior. Then if it comes to the resistance, unlikely it's going to continue today to the upside. So then this would mean some kind of reversion, and that would mean another change of behavior. So I mean, like, would be a pretty difficult day to trade. So my preference here for the bullish scenario, yeah, I'm telling the market what to do, is just to be here for some time, consolidate, then break, and then continue to the upside, something like that. Chris is asking, and I think this is mostly for you, William. Do you guys use daily highs and lows as part of your structure? Noticed how just pushed back up into Friday's low and sellers defending.
Yes, I always have the daily highs and lows on my charts, a different color. So I have the daily structure, daily highs and lows, and also 60-minute structure on my charts, and they be color coded so I know where we're interacting with. So yes, extreme important areas. In fact, they're the kind of choice plays you want to be looking for. You want to see price technically spring a daily structure on a 3-minute time frame. Yeah. But be mindful that that is a daily spring. You're trading a higher time frame structure, so you need to adjust your trading parameters, or your expectations would be far greater springing a daily structure than it would be a 60-minute or a 15-minute or a 3-minute local level of support. Okay, it's very important you understand that you need to give the trade room to breathe, not be so aggressive with covering, because you are effectively, if you think from a daily support, you'd expect a larger bounce off a daily support level of 20, 15, 20, 25 points, as opposed to a 60-minute time frame, which may be 8 to 15 points, or a bounce off a 3-minute time frame, maybe 5 to 8 points. And you need to take that into consideration going forward, which is very important. Understand the environment you're in.
Yeah, I think let's continue with the conversation about the environment. I think that the key for the intraday trade is just to define what's going to be the environment today. Is it going to be a trending environment? Is it going to be a contraction, non-trending trading range? So you have different tools, but you're usually going to be more certain about the environment for the day after some points of data came your way, right? So for instance, right here, when we saw this change of behavior relative to the rally, then we're already thinking like, yeah, we might be in a trading range, like for the
Yeah,
whole day.
yeah,
And it makes a lot of sense. So then right away you start thinking about your tactics. Okay, so what are the tactics during the this type of environment, the trading range? Scalps are the best, and then short-term swing continuations. And from that perspective, I mean, like we've shown you, right? So the opening scalp was just like has nothing to do with the structure itself, with the bias itself. I'm sorry. Continuation scalp, and then this was the continuation swing. So here it is. Then scalp again, and then scalp to the downside. And that's kind of like the boring day that this is, right? So we're not really trending, we're not really expanding, and we're having all of this like mini opportunities, to extract 5 points here and there. I think
yeah,
on the days like this, William, the key is just to stay profitable, not to overtrade, and be very short-term oriented in your mindset
sure.
in terms of what kind of trades
Vertical.
you're taking. Like I,
Yeah.
I don't feel like there is a lot of movement today, so therefore, hit and run,
Hmm.
that type of trading. Would you mark the daily low of the regular trading hours and overnight sessions? Yes, sure. I mean, like I just like William is way, way better in terms of how he, you know, shows all of the lines.
Yeah.
Um, I am like
You're
doing
more.
everything in my mind, but it's just kind of like a bad habit for a trader.
I wouldn't say
But
it's a
yeah, I
bad
mean,
habit. I'd say you're more structure, market structure kind of
mhm,
orientated. The
yeah.
structure of price. I need to be
But
told where to trade by applying lines, basically.
yeah, I definitely look at the pre-market activity. I mean, like there is a lot of questions. Do you use pre-market in your analysis? Absolutely. You got to
Yep.
look at the volume profile. You got to look at the price structure. Uh, because everything that came out today came out of this trading range, right?
Hmm.
And remember our initial assumption, yeah, up, but into the upthrust. Then you start seeing that the upthrust starts being violated, so you know that there's going to be continuation, uh, and that came again from the pre-market structure.
Hmm. But it's been a confusing day for the market because the big macro moves have all taken out levels of resistance and support. It's only been the little local
Mhm.
levels that have been failing, if that makes sense. Uh, it, it hasn't been the kindest of days here. I've just noticed this bar here, though, Roman, this supply
Mhm.
bar. And look, we
Mhm.
push on up, we come down. How would you interpret this bar on a 3 minute time frame?
Well, I mean, to me right now, I'm thinking that we are in the mini range right here
Hmm.
of a much larger structure somewhere here.
Yep.
So therefore, for instance, if I'm thinking that if there's going to be some kind of trade to the downside, which could give us a little bit more room to operate, like, a short-term swing, then I want to see like lower high of some sort, and then short
Hmm.
somewhere on the way down. So therefore, on the three, yeah, I mean, like I'm seeing that maybe there is less a supply, but the background is this, right? So.
Mm. I mean, no, I see negativity here. You know,
Mhm.
it's the supply coming out. Oh, look at this bar. How's this gonna close? We're approaching this level once again because now we've got structural integrity, right? Now this is held once again. So I'm looking to see price interact with this. Look at the volume pop off. stronger, would you say, than it was over here? The approach isn't as significant. Oof.
William, I'm sorry, what did you say? Stronger or weaker?
Comparing this spring
Uh-huh.
to this spring over here. Well,
Yeah.
actually, technically, this isn't a spring. We don't dip under the lows,
Yeah.
but we see buying
But
occur at a support level.
you might be thinking of this as a spring relative to this bar low, because this is the important bar, so it's kind of springing. Yeah, I'd say like I would be thinking like, okay, could it coil here?
I mean, we are certainly coiling. We're
Mm-hmm.
beginning to tighten. You know what? This could occur, and then boom, the last hour. This way, or this way.
I'd say even before the last hour. I mean, like
Well,
I think that we'll see the resolution. Yeah.
Oh, that's a 1
But
minute time frame. Is that? Yeah, of course.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mohanad is asking, at which point would you decide what kind of day there is trending or contraction? I mean, kind of from this, we're seeing, just because, again, change of behavior after the initial continuation. And you start thinking change of behavior, meaning what? Okay, trading range, reaction of sorts, right? So right here, you start thinking, okay, well, maybe that's the whole day. So you're bound by the boundaries of the day, and you just trade that, at least for now. I mean, like there could be just like, okay, huge change of behavior, big trading range, and then continuation to the downside as well. But this continuation of the bias you will have to see later on of the day. So again, mental flexibility that we need to have for the intraday trading. Just kind of like, if you're seeing the changes, you change your your outlook here. Okay, what are you saying here?
Yeah, no, I'm just agreeing with what you're saying. But you want to be able to identify the day within the first 60 to 90 minutes of trading.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it doesn't really serve you a
Yeah,
purpose going forward.
yeah,
That's
and
the idea.
sometimes it's very easy, right?
Yeah,
I mean, like trending markets are extremely easy, in terms of like, yeah, I see by the first, let's say 45, 60 minutes that, and you might be already having a winning trade there, but you still don't know that it's a trending day. But by, between 30 to 60 minutes of the session, you kind of see by the extension, by the volume that's coming in, by the way how reactions are behaving, you could say like, yeah, this is going to be a trending day. I hate though when it shows that it's going to be a trending day, and then somewhere into the like 1/3 of the session it
yeah,
changes behavior.
yeah.
That's the most annoying thing.
Usually on my time, that's when Wall Street get back from lunch about 7 p.m. GMT, whatever, 2 hours before the close your time, whatever that is. You kind of get that trending environment, and then all of a sudden you come back, and then you see shortening of a thrust, and then it becomes literally range bound, or just fails a little like this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very familiar. I'm
See,
just
it's not.
observing this over here, Roman. Look,
Yeah,
the ability to rally.
suggesting. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just an inability to rally here.
Mhm.
Potential line in the
Break,
sand,
like we had
breakdown,
something like this.
breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
So potential self stop here.
Yeah, and that's kind of like, I mean, like if it breaks here, that kind of tells me that, again, like situations that are somewhat similar, and there is some kind of weakness, then still, I would be thinking there might be an opportunity to continue down. So very obscure, interesting, spot right here. Would it hold or would it not?
Yeah. And what's interesting as well for me, Roman, is we're not holding here. We're actually holding this level, which is actually
Mhm.
additional strength while
Yeah.
we're testing down here. So that's a bit of an enigma in itself.
Mhm.
I don't want to see a clean break to the downside. I mean, you
I
could
want to see a lower high here below
look at the rally.
this.
So that rally
Mhm.
to this rally to an
Mhm.
inhibitor. What? To this. We break, we bounce, inability.
Well, I'm 8:42. So what do you want to do? Do you want to finish at 9?
Yeah, hopefully something will present itself here, Roman. For a nice
Mm,
clean
okay,
move.
maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, I would not be surprised if. I mean, we've kind of shown the opportunities, so I don't feel that bad about this. I mean, like a day is a day,
Oh,
so
okay. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah,
yeah.
that's fine.
Mhm.
The
Hopefully, somebody made money on from our discussion. So, oh, guys, just out of curiosity, so we usually in the tape reading obviously don't do this. It's just more kind of like discussion around the market analysis of many other uh, assets. Would you be? Yeah, Jim is saying, yeah, I did make a little bit of money here, so thanks. Yeah, that's good. Chris is saying I took a shot around 60 area, got one scale so far, holding for test in the low. Okay. Linda is saying congrats on the 100th episodes. Thanks for today's session. Tedious, yes, but such a compelling puzzle. Helped a lot. Thank you both. Okay, great. Eric is saying great learning experience for me. Yeah, I mean, and all of you guys are our students. So like just going through the names.
Mhm.
Finley is saying I learned every time. Um, yeah, so still learning something, that's great, and this is what we're here for. My question to you is more of like, do you feel like this type of structure is something that you would like to have? And I don't know whether it's going to be like each day or once a week or something like this, but we're just thinking in different directions here. So give us some kind of feedback. Great review of the method on the short time frame from Lena. Hey, Lena. Uh, Con is saying, I'm a huge fan of you guys. Can you see chart of our market Nifty 50? Uh, oof, yeah,
Nifty's very popular, isn't it? For
yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
liquid as well. I've got a lot of students who
Okay,
trade
I'm
that.
just thinking like, should we go there or should we not? Okay, stand
I'm always
by.
up for a challenge, Roman.
Okay, yeah. Chandra is saying this session is excellent. If you can continue to walk through the market in the sessions, it would be awesome. Jim is saying do those sessions periodically. Uh, Stewart is saying, I look forward to trading on daily and weekly instead of scalping. Yeah, sure. Yeah,
That's
well,
your
this
forte.
session was
That's not mine.
definitely more intraday. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Well, look here, Roman. There's
mhm,
a big spring emerging here. If we can get a little test, I would just buy that.
mhm. Okay.
I mean, look at the volume popping out. The market is saying it's going to have a rally.
Or
Can
attempt
it?
to rally.
Can it
Mhm,
overcome this area? That's what I'd be saying here.
okay.
I think what's interesting, actually, from a learning perspective, Roman, is for my outset is bouncing between the 1 minute and 3 minute. It's somewhat a little bit confusing for my aspect.
Mhm.
But there's been nothing on the 3 minute time frame to note. Look how horrible this trading is. I mean, there's nothing. We couldn't have picked a worse day
Mhm.
if we tried from a 1 minute
Yeah,
perspective.
but I mean, these days happen, as you guys know,
Yes,
right?
they do.
So
Yeah.
you kind of, how do you navigate those? And again, I think it's all about like understanding what kind of day you have
Yes.
earlier on, and then use the tactics, William, the test
Yeah.
a
I'm
little
just
bit too
looking.
high of the supply.
Yeah. Look at the volume coming in on the
Hmm.
tests. The volume's high. That's a negative. It pops its head above and reacts down. That's a negative. The only positive aspect is the retracement. So so overall it's a failed test as it stands. But this is
Hmm.
the 1 minute time frame, and I understand that the market is
I mean, if you
test a little
want
bit longer.
to, I still see a lot of weakness right here in
Yeah,
this
I do.
area, like at the area of the support. Like there are no like rallies that really I'm liking. So I'm probably thinking more of kind of like, even going to the downside unless we break this level right here. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like if William wants to buy here, I would probably buy only on the confirmation that it can overcome this level right here. Otherwise, still to the downside. I mean, this is a change of behavior. We said that, would be great to have some kind of lower high. So look at how lower high comes. It's just really, really lower high. So again, like you might have a scalp here to the support, to this support area right here. You could originate that with the failure of this bar, of this low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Self-stopping that low would be
Mhm.
quite attractive, actually.
Yeah. I mean,
The
there
fact
is.
that the test is still telling us supply, still have to close under this. An outside bar as
Mhm.
well, which one of my students is working on. But
Yeah.
this is. Mm,
Okay, so some other comments here. I'm excited about the unconference from Eric. Yes, so for our students, if you are our student, the unconference is going to be in July in San Francisco. Everything Wyckoff,
here
everything
we go.
trading related.
In. See
Okay.
how that
Yeah.
goes.
All right. Well, while you manage this trade, William,
Yes.
let me just go through some of the comments here. Yes. So on conference in July, William's gonna come. We're gonna have the workshop there. We're gonna have the conference. We're gonna have the reception. We're gonna like talk a lot. We're gonna, mingle a lot with students, with the team. So obviously preferences for our students because there's gonna be a limited capacity at Golden Gate University. So we're probably looking like at around between 60 to 80 people maximum. Okay. I like that you both explain your thought process while trading in real time from Kurt. Yeah, and I think that's what's so helpful, for students just generally. Okay, so from Simon, yes, hearing the thought process dialogue between the two of you, each with your different approaches, is very helpful. Yeah, and you could see like, somewhere William, does not have a trade. I'm gonna have like some kind of, scalp. Again, I'm not a scalp trader. I just see scalp opportunities today more just because of the contraction in the trading range. That's why. It's useful to see your live thought process and help us to improve from Alex. Yeah, absolutely. Good to see you, Alex, here. I like the I like the real time analysis, especially in the volatile market from Kyle. Thank you, Kyle. Yes, please. It's very helpful to see how you guys think about it and how you're actually willing to switch your thinking from Mahanad. Yeah, and today is exactly that. Like you gotta switch
Mm,
your thinking a lot.
yep.
Neil is saying, yes, it'd be interesting to continue with this occasionally at least. Okay, yeah. John is saying, for me, it's something to have occasionally. Thank you for what you do to help. I still like to hear theory and insights in a typical class framework. Yeah, and Tape Reading Lab class on Mondays is exactly about that. From France, like to see a mix between short-term and longer-term simulations. It's all tape reading. Yeah, could be both. From Eric, general market likely to be in the trading range until after Fed day. Okay, a lot of the days are like this. Learning to identify them has helped my P&L. From Chris, yeah, and again, this is the key today. Just identify what kind of day you're gonna have, change tactics, and so on and so forth. Lots of learning about my own trading behaviors by comparing my analysis execution to yours from Philip. Yeah, I think that's very useful, William. Just to people kind of like, as they trade, they compare their notes against ours where we are. So I always
Mhm.
felt like that. That's kind of like great. Clive is saying this is excellent for new traders to see how more experienced traders think. Yeah, again, it's all about like how do we create uh, the logic of the analysis and the logic of execution of trades as the market unfolds. So I agree with
Process
all
of
of you
thought.
guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the process of
yeah,
thought. And also, I think what's nice is that we've highlighted trades not to take. as well as this day has kind of provided. I mean, look at all this indecision around here. Look at all the tails around
Yeah.
here. Oof, this is it's a very, very, very interesting day here.
Jim is saying helps to witness the struggle to maintain objectivity. Okay. William from Tony, what time frame are you using on the intraday?
3 minute is the lowest time frame I go down to. Yep.
And it's obviously like on the day where there's a contraction at trading range, you're gonna find less opportunities on the 3 than let's say on the 1, because 1 you're gonna have more details and you could see how many scalps we kind of like seen through the session on 1. And right away, like you after first initial scalps, you kind of feel what your target is. Like I feel that today for scalps, 5 points was like a really good target. Just put the stop loss there and the limit buy, limit sell, just to get it out of the position as your P&L expands, not contracts. And that's how you squeeze out efficiency on a day like this, where instead of, let's say, taking a 3 point on a scalp just because you had a reversal, you take in 5 and you're increasing your P&L by about maybe 30%. I mean, someone might say like, well, why go into those type of details and so on and so forth, but that's how on a day like this you extract some profitability, and unfortunately you have to do it this way. Otherwise, you're just going to end up maybe profitable for the day, but it's not going to be like anything special.
And I have to say, even though we've been taking 5, 6 point scalps here and there, although the main missed opportunity is this one.
Yeah, and this is the only opportunity that was there in terms of the short-term swing trade.
We are blessed in today's volatility to have 40, 50 point moves and extract 20 points.
Imagine contraction and a trading range of 5 points.
2015, 2016.
What were you taking back then?
Oh, I was happy with a 4 point, 5 point move.
4 point day.
Yeah, exactly. You're taking 50% of the swings. So still, these mount up to significant moves. Like we are blessed in today's environment, is what I'm saying. Oh, look at this. This has unfolded.
Yeah.
Beautiful move coming into the downside. You have to partial cover. I mean, we could see the weakness here. Now the question is, what kind of buying will we find? I mean, look at the volume coming in here, right? But yes.
Yeah. So
another little 5 point move down here.
Times 540 times 460 times 12.5. And obviously, this is an ideal situation. I mean, we kind of like talked about all of this scalps, but you have to take them, right?
Yep.
So that's 2,000. So for the contracting day, and this is per contract, for the contracting day, and you're gonna majority of this is gonna be like 1 unit a sec for this one. This is 3 units right here. Everything else is basically 1 unit. I'm not taking this as a scalp. Like I personally did not see that to extend that much.
Yeah, so that would be a scalp for me.
Yeah, 2,000 for the day. Like I'd say like not bad, considering where we are. Okay, so here we are. We've talked about how phase B may be like being here in some kind of smaller structure into the lower high, coiling. So that has happened. Then we said a scalp to the support. So here we are. Demand has come in. And William, how would you assess kind of like this takeoff of the support?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, if you're trading this play down to this area, you've got to be aware of these levels. You'd have your limit order in. And then as you see this close with this kind of volume, you have to cover. What's coming into the market here, Roman? Demand, right? And we've already said that the character of this market is the stopping action comes from these spikes in volume. So I'd expect a rally from here. And look how
Hmm.
it's broken through the first level of resistance.
Yeah. So now we are comparing this rally to this one right here, and it
Yes,
seems like
yes.
it's somewhat better on smaller volume
That's a
signatures.
reversal.
So
That's a reversal play, by the way.
yeah.
And you'd have to
So here's that ease of movement. I would
yeah.
say, like, again, you start thinking about the whole day, and you start thinking like, yeah, we are in the big, humongous trading range, but here we are finding some buying, and here we're buying some buying.
Yeah.
So, for the rest of the day, what are we thinking? Well, we're trying to get back here, but we have to see if there's going to be some kind of change of behavior followed by some kind of test, and then
Hmm.
confirmation to the upside. Otherwise, if that doesn't happen, then we're still maybe like thinking what possible, like if it were to happen, if we're going to see some weakness, then
Yeah.
possible this, or possible even attempt to continue. Well,
I mean, we see weakness here. I see weakness all along here, right? Which
mhm,
is why we said under here lows, we pull the market in. So then let the market put us in. Then we have to establish where's the market likely to find support. Well, it'll be either here or here, right? So we've got a buying zone. And look at the kind of buying that we found in this zone. I mean, that's significant. It sticks out like a sore thumb. There's demand coming into this market. And we could draw a channel over here. Would also be oversold in a demand zone. Like this is the reversal play. And look at the buying. Look at the follow through here, Roman.
mhm,
So I'd be looking for any dip. If we come back into this area, I'd be very aggressive looking for a buying opportunity into this
mhm,
area for sure going forward. And look, we get another kind of
yeah,
change of behavior in this micro or this structure here. It's interesting, right? It's,
yeah. If that test happens
yeah,
favorably, then I
favorably.
think we're going to be presented with another better opportunity for the day, like something
Hmm.
akin to what we've seen on the way down. So could we do that? If we're closing at the high of the session, that's even better, because that reiterates the daily bias to the upside. So we'll have to see.
And we got a story here. Look, that's
Mhm,
our wave down one. This is our wave down two. It's
mhm,
not as aggressive as it once was, but then also look at this story of two halves. So as this was our first bout of selling to this level, and then we navigate through. We don't rally from here, but then look at this selling on the way down. This selling is nowhere near as good as this selling up at the highs, and it's actually met with good buying at the lows. This is quite an interesting market going forward for unfortunately for the rest of the day, Roman. But we've
mhm.
got the lunchtime hour coming in now. Volatility will contract. Um, we'll see what happens. But
Mhm.
look at this.
Okay, we're at 9:01, so we're gonna stop here. Couple of last comments here. This was fantastic. This has tremendously helped me in my ability to make future trades. I like the comments about staying by the sidelines, waiting for a better opportunity. Thank you, from
Mhm.
Brad. Maya is asking, at what point can we distinguish if today is going to be a contraction day or a range day? Here today, I see it could have been a range, then change of behavior. I think that we kind of talked about it, but Maya, yeah, definitely, we don't mind repeating this. So I would say, William, to me, it's this change of behavior that defined the day.
Yeah, that change of behaviour and just the failure as well. Under here
Mhm.
is oh wow, now we just yeah we're kind of range bound. Mm. But yeah, this change of behaviour itself, the fact that we don't kind of hold here or anywhere here and we don't continue, it's like yeah okay.
Yeah, I'd say, Maya, like, the first, like, 30 to 45 to 60 minutes, you could have some indications of what kind of day you're gonna have. You have to look again, as we said, um, the price, the structure, and any type of unusual volume increases. But usually, the majority of it is all in the range. And then sometimes the bias for the day could come, in that first 1/3 of the session, and you have to make sure that you catch this. Like, we did today was the change of behavior, and we said like, oh gosh, this is not going to be continuation to the upside. Even though, right, we were thinking like, okay, are there any trades? Are there any trades? No, there are no trades. There is a change of behavior. So switch, the mental picture, and we should have been stronger here, mentally to catch this signal. I mean, like, I sense that both of us kind of like, yeah, we kind of missed this.
Is it,
Mhm.
can we take a brief look at the 60-minute time frame? I know we're going to
Yeah.
call it a day. I just want to see how. Okay. Come down and go see some point. Test down here. Okay. Again, it still suggests range bound conditions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I
Yeah.
would be thinking, yeah, for now, we are right here. And then maybe another attempt to go up and settle in. I mean, like, and that would be the day. That's a contraction day. It's not a day like this on Friday. That's what
Yeah, that's for sure.
we wanted to do. I think we wanted to do this. This was last Friday, right? Yeah, 7 days ago. Yeah, this was supposed to be the 100th episode. That would be, such a nice. Let's actually go there. All right, we'll stay for Can you stay for another maybe like?
Yeah, of course. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the 30th. So let's just say like we are defining trending day and non-trending day, right? So what do we do here? I really like those plays when in the trending day, let's say it was a bullish bias, we have initial push to the downside, and
Yep.
then very quickly,
The
uh,
flush.
yeah, the initial flash in the morning, and then boom, we are going up. So by 7 o'clock, look at the extension of this spread, right? So what is it? So this is 15 and let's say 85 just for the simplicity of it. So plus 30 points. And we're definitely observing what? Good extension to the upside on both of the bars.
Yep. Valid break.
Good demand coming in, right? And holding like flat hold. So here, all of those is just telling us like, yeah, we are definitely bullish. We're definitely having a lot of momentum to continue to the upside, and especially after the flat reaction like this. So I think that there are a lot of continuation plays right here. That would be a better trade day to trade, and then continue to the upside. Supply is still low, and you want to see some kind of climactic volume signature before you release this position. So this could have been like a trade like this into this change of behavior bar. What do you think, William?
Yep, I'm with you. It's just the inability to react from the supply. That's what, and we can see it declining all the way that we're going up. It becomes a bit climactic here. And then when we start trading under that climax, exactly what you've called the cob is where you've got to start covering or paying very close attention to your played or your trades, and at least put your self stop or your stops in strategic places where you don't mind giving X amount back to the market.
Yeah. And by the way, it's not like there was no changes of behavior here during the session. I mean, like, here is one,
Yep.
here is a big one, and then here is another one. And then you have to change the bias here, as you go, let's say, into this week rally. So you have opportunities here to counter trend trade, um, and maybe even to catch a short-term swing here, and then maybe like couple of scalps here, and that's it. And that's your trade. But you're making a lot of money just on the trending day, either breakouts or reactions as a continuation of the trend. So here's your major win. Here's your major win continuation as a continuation play, and then the rest is just like scalp, short-term swing, scalp. And I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe five trades for that day. I would be completely satisfied.
I mean, for me, what I really like to see here, and there's a big concern, is this area is this kind of no demand environment. Like we're trying to break through into new highs. Look at the price action for a moment, and look at the break itself. Look how poor this is in comparison to previous buying. And we're trying to break through this area, this high volume, this climactic bar, or this effort versus result bar, I should say, and all this volume here, right? Look how we're trying to break into, grind through into the highs. Very, very, very low volume. This is an area of interest. As specifically, I'm a counter trend trader as well. This, if you break it down into lower timeframes, there are very good opportunities to counter this to the downside and play this to the downside. And also just be aware, if you're in position and you don't fully cover, you put your stop here and you see this action and you don't see a valid break, there's no demand trying to break through resistance, be mindful, cover, or look for the reversal. You're looking for signs to go short. That's the way that's my trading mind here anyway.
Yeah, I'd say like these two bars different than this.
Yes.
So already showing some change of behavior. If you could get in like on the break of this bar right here, catch this, and then
these bars trying to come up.
Yeah, definitely add here, or just initiate there. Another opportunity here as well. Another opportunity here.
Remember, I said two hours before the close, which is when Wall Street get back from lunch. Volatility increases, and this is kind of that lunchtime period, the lull. So be mindful of those areas. The time of day, opportunities will present themselves.
Okay, last question, and then we're gonna stop. Is it going on YouTube? From Gerard. Yes, we do plan to put it on YouTube. So you guys, I mean, I don't see any value of rewatching this if you were with us for the whole session, unless you want to kind of like pick up those small nuggets that we had here and there, just make some notes and so on and so forth. So then, yeah, you could definitely do this. But we probably should put it on YouTube, William, with the name like title of like example of the contraction day, something like that.
There's a nice comment here for you, Roman. You are master, Roman. Thanks for all you're doing in this space.
What? Well, I would say that first of all, want to recognize William's astute trading skills. And by the way, William, you were talking about like a test. Like, what do you see anything here? I mean, like, would that test be?
So we've broken the structure, we get that cob, we're holding very tight here. Look at the volume reducing, demand bars are expanding, possible absorption here. No entry as of yet, but I've got to go, but there's certainly room here there's certainly potential for a bullish play.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the supply.
Let me just finish the thought here. And I mean, like, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm probably much harder on myself, but I want you guys check out William's offerings, and especially the one. I mean, like, if you like this format, us talking markets, and we like when we talk, we kind of forget that we're even in the classroom.
Yes.
Check out the tape reading. Let me show you where it is. Tape Reading Lab. And each Monday morning, we analyze the markets. We go through some exercises. So under the live education on wyckoffanalytics.com, go to the Wyckoff Tape Reading Lab. And here we are. So sign up. Some examples of different sessions, so you could watch those as well. We had an Best of Conference, a Best of Wyckoff Conference on December 15th, where we did the same type of trading. That day was trending to the downside, and we made, I think, like in 2 hours, 7,000 per contract.
Yeah, well, the multiple contracts were in alignment that day. That was
yes.
We had the benefit of the markets being very kind.
So, and here is that day, December 15th. So yeah, pretty cool to trade when you have when you have a trend. Yeah. Okay, but check out also William's offerings just, on his website as well. And I'm just going to confess this. It's just going to be a repeat for me. I've done this many times. I have not met so far a better trader on the intraday time frame than William. So I've learned a lot from William throughout
Very kind.
this,
Thank you, Roman.
2 or 3 years that we've been cooperating together. It's such a joy for me to discuss the market with William because like he has a very astute, very in-depth mind about the markets. Everything is kind of like quantifiable on his side. So I'm learning a lot from William, and you should guys too.
Well, thank you very much, Roman, and I can't believe it's our 100th episode. Wow, time flies, right?
Yeah.
Wow, well, what can I say, Roman? It's been very enjoyable. To the next 100.
Yes, let's do that.
And,
okay, how do we connect with you, William?
Connect with me. You can send me an email or go to www.fabletrading.com and there's a chat function that will have my email details.
Mm-hmm. Lots of congrats on the 100s. This was great. John is saying another great and valuable session in so many ways. Can't express enough gratitude to both of you. Hard to believe it has already been 100 episodes. Congratulations. Thank you for the invaluable help in my market journey. Yeah, glad to be here for you guys, for sure.
Yes, and just looking at this, look, remember we said about no supply. Look at the last down bar, lowest volume down bar we've seen for the whole day at support after a comp. This
so would that be a point of entry for you, right there?
Yeah, you could buy a stop. Still, we still have to overcome this, but you're playing. You're playing for continuation, at least another leg up to which kind of, if you think in measured moves, that would be nice, wouldn't it?
Okay. All right. Well, I think this is a good place for us to stop. So 3 hours and 15 minutes, that's like enough, right? We have other things to do, but very grateful for you guys to be here for this 3 hours with us. Thank you for sticking around, even though today was kind of like a challenging day. So thank you for understanding how that unfolds and how our thinking is unfolding. And William, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for all of the 100 episodes.
Yeah,
that's great.
Thank you for sharing your nuggets of gold over these past couple of years, which certainly improved my trading. Oh, look at this. Well, here we go. Look at the attempt to break. Fails, trading under. Oof. Okay. I don't want to get involved very quickly. I'm going to go off to this market now.
All right. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much. And until next Monday, for those of you who are in the class or for those of you who's going to sign up, and we will be happy to see you there. William, thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everybody. Thanks, Roman.
Bye-bye.